Hello there. Not gonna lie. There's quite a lot of Frontiers fanboys in the chat. That is interesting. Hating on Frontiers is invalid. If you don't like the game, then you just don't like video games in general. Okay, that guy's just trolling. No worries. Like, guys, let's calm it down. Let's calm the shillery down. It's not the best game ever made. Not even remotely close. Like, let's all calm down. Like, it ain't that good. Sorry. And then the music ominously changes when I give my opinion on the game. It is that good, sorry. It isn't. I'm perfectly happy debating literally every single one of you all at once on this game. It's not that good, sorry. Like, this modded gameplay looks so much better. Like, and even then, it's not brilliant. So it's one of those where I feel like I'm actually going to be agreeing with a lot of the videos that we're watching today. Unleashed over Frontiers any day of the week. Frontiers is humanity's greatest invention. Literally stop the fanboyism, please. SA2 or Frontiers. I think Frontiers is better than SA2 at least, but it's not really much of an achievement since I don't like SA2. What's a better game than Frontiers? Like, quite a handful of Sonic games. It's like Unleashed is better, Project 06 is better. As far as momentum and just open world gameplay goes, I think Sonic GT is better. There's quite a lot of, like Mania I think is better. There's quite... both generations games I think are better. Colors over Frontiers. Yeah, I think that's... yeah, I think Colors is better than Frontiers in a lot of areas. Because Frontiers basically is like... It tries to do too many things at once and ends up being like a jack of all trades. Whereas Colors does like one or two things really well. Project 06 doesn't count as a fan game. It literally does count. It's a Sonic game. They literally asked what Sonic games are better. Project 06 is a Sonic game. Don't move the goalposts. But yeah, I'm ready to start if you guys are. How's everyone doing today? You all okay? The love for Frontiers is absolutely forced. Sonic fans will love any game that isn't absolute shit. I mean, give them 10, 20 years, they'll love the games that are shit anyways. It is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, Sonic Frontiers had a lot of potential, but the finished product is just so underwhelming. And I don't even like Shadow Gens all that much. Like, I think Shadow Gens is incredibly overrated, but I still think it's better than Frontiers. Like, it's ridiculous. I made a defense comment for Frontiers. Do you want to see it? It's long, so where should I send it? That's what she said. I mean, I don't mind. Like, I'll debunk that comment anyway. Just put it in the Discord, put it in the YouTube stream, put it wherever you want. I'll debunk it no matter what. You don't like SA2, you don't like Frontiers, and now Shadow Gens. Are you even a Sonic fan? I love this. The gatekeeping is amazing. Yes, I am a Sonic fan, I just don't like the most overrated games in the franchise. Fucking sue me. Oh, you don't like these 3 games, therefore you hate 30 years worth of games. Fucking flawless logic there, boys. Anyways, I'm ready to start. Are we all ready to start? I fucking love Sonic fans. I feel like that's why you guys subscribe to this channel, because I am like the most negative Sonic fan. I just don't fanboy for games. It really is just that simple. Alright, so the first... Oh, the music literally ended as we were about to begin. That was perfect timing. But yeah, with that being said, let's take a look at this first video. Sonic Frontiers is awful. I couldn't really have asked for a stronger start. You have disagreeing opinions, are you even a Sonic fan? I know, right? Send a comment on your newest video. Just put it in the chat if you like. Right, let's, Oh, I didn't even realize... I must have watched this video ages ago. Fucking amazing like to dislike ratio there. You know, I'll unlike the video just because it's been a long time since I've seen it, so maybe my opinion's changed. Also, I've just realized we are missing my theme tune. We need the theme tune. We need the music. Right, there we go. The music is now playing. Rift's theme tune is in the background. The comment is too long for the chat. Well, why don't we just break it down bit by bit, then? Like, address, like, specific topics first.
I'm a Sonic speedrunner, and I did not like Sonic Frontiers.
Interesting. I mean, the first Rift likes to piss people off. Well, I don't, though. Like, I'm honest. I'm honest about my opinions. It really is that simple. It's like, I don't pull any punches. If I don't like something, I will tell you why I don't like it. It's interesting that a speedrunner doesn't like Frontiers, considering I'm fairly certain you can just completely skip Kronos Island. Why can't you just go to your newest video and read it? I mean, I can, but it'll completely ruin the pace of the stream.
I'm clearly in the...
And we're literally going to be watching Sonic Frontiers videos, so we'll be able to, like, go through point by point.
...minority, so lots of people have been asking for a video that details my issues with the game. I do think that this formula could work, and I
don't even like Super Sonic 2, it's just Sonic but with blue eyes. I prefer Super Sonic 2 to Hyper Sonic. I gotta be honest, I do.
That they keep it for the next game in the series, but this particular game felt unfinished, and it definitely missed the mark for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Frontiers was an unfinished game. I hope Frontiers 2 will be better, but they have a lot of things to fix.
First, I thought it's because I'm 30 years old, and maybe I just don't enjoy new video
games. I still can't believe it took 5 years to make Frontiers. Yeah, it's like it took 4 years to make Forces. Like, I don't really know what to say.
Games anymore. But then, I thought back to Tales of Arise, which allowed me to experience real joy. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 had me emotionally invested in the story and motivated to explore every single nook and cranny that the game had to offer me. So why did I dislike Sonic Frontiers? I promise it has nothing to do with my corrupted game files that caused the game to be literally unplayable.
What is happening here? This is like some fucking Roblox shit.
Annoying as this was, I'll break it down into a few key areas.
I swear if you say SA2 Supersonic... Wait, what? Random question. 1, do you like Supersonic? Will the Shadow Quills... Wait, what? Random question. 1, do you like Supersonic? Will the Shadow... That question makes no sense. Please try that again. I don't know what you're trying to ask me. I'm sorry.
The pacing in this game was very off-putting for me. Progression largely depends on collecting memory tokens to listen to short dialogue sequences, followed by more collection to listen to more short dialogue sequences. This loop of gameplay gets increasingly more frustrating as time goes on, at least for me. I found myself...
I mean, I can believe that. Like, it feels like you're doing too much stuff and you're not getting rewarded with enough. It's like, and it literally gets worse as you go through the game, because it's like, oh, collect 20 memory tokens, and you get like a 30-second long conversation with Knuckles. Collect 25 more memory tokens to actually progress with the campaign. I'm saying what supersonic quills suit him, the ones from SA1 and 2 or Unleashed gens. I like both. I like all of them, to be honest. Like, when people use the, Adventure 1 and 2 models for Frontiers, I think it looks nice. But I do prefer I do prefer, like, his modern look. Like, how he looks in, like, Unleashed and 06. Like, he just looks great.
Fishing for all of the memory tokens once I got to the final island to avoid this issue entirely. In addition, the flow is constantly interrupted during normal gameplay, whether it's long intro cutscenes for overworld bosses called Guardians that cannot be skipped, cutscenes whenever Sonic maxes his ring count.
So it's like, I think one thing that I don't like in Frontiers, I think the boost is just so pathetic. Like, the power boost is awesome, but the regular boost I think is terrible. Like, it's to the point where I genuinely don't see why it was introduced. Like, get rid of the boost, and then just have, like, the power boost be permanent. But maybe make it so that it lasts, like, half as long. Like, at level 1 anyways. Like, the regular boost is just so pathetic. Especially when you compare it to the spin dash.
Cutscenes for random meteor shower events, slow-paced minigames, and constant tool...
You can always get the power boost. Yeah, but you have to get 99 speed in order to do it. Which is not really worth it, if I'm honest.
Which are enabled by default in the menu, but thankfully can be disabled. The game also has a habit of occasionally...
So it's like, I don't really have an issue with the game constantly giving you tutorials, because at the end of the day, it's like, it is a completely different take on the boost formula. So, like, giving you a tutorial as to how, like, the Psy loop works and stuff, I think is fair. It is. It's like...
locking you into 2D physics, and your only option is to either try to escape from the beginning of that 2D sequence, or complete the segment of gameplay that could be upwards of 20 seconds or longer. And then you're...
Yeah, the 2D segments suck. I hate the fact that they do that in the open worlds. Like, I genuinely think that the open zone platforming segments should be entirely 3D.
Free to travel once again. And speaking of travel,
that's not a big deal, especially since you can unlock it permanently. Well, yeah, but considering how many Coco you have to find to, like, get 99 in speed, like, you'll have already played through most of the campaign, surely, in order to do that. Unless you're, like, deliberately going out of your way to, like, grind in, like, the fishing minigames, for example.
Lack of fast travel
options. And again, if you're gonna do that, like, you may as well just go for, like, attack or defense.
Are extremely surprising. In order to unlock fast travel in this game, you must first clear every map challenge, and only then can you travel between the various cyberspace portals. Your only other option to fast travel is to...
You can get 400 rings in a minute. Well, the problem with that is, like, if you take damage at all, it's like you basically just have to stop what you're doing and just grind, effectively, just to reactivate the power boost. I don't really think that's a good idea. That's something that you didn't have to do with any other Sonic game up until this point.
5 out of 10.
Lizard Bean, thank you very much for the $10. I really hope you're not about to empty your bank account again, like you did with the other stream. But thank you very much for the donation. Frontiers is an 8.5 out of 10. Like, how would you guys rank Frontiers out of 10? Like, out of 10, what would you rate Frontiers? For me, it's like a 5 or a 6. Like, and that's me being very generous. Like, I think this game is not bad. Definitely not bad. But it's a very mid game. It's a very unfinished game. Had quite a few good ideas. Those ideas never landed.
An Elder Coco Scroll or Hermit Coco Scroll from the fishing minigame. This is in stark contrast to other open world video games. You are unlikely to have fast travel capability during a casual playthrough of the game, unless you're attempting...
So it's like, I don't really see the point in having fast travel in this particular kind of game. Because it's like, with a character as fast as Sonic, surely it would just make more sense to, like, run across the map. Like, if anything, I feel like it would be a better idea to just make it so that it's genuinely fun to, like, run across the entire island. And make it so that you can basically abuse the level design so you can fly from, like, one side of the island all the way to the other. By just getting enough momentum and just launching yourself like you can do in Sonic GT. I think that would have been cool.
To fully clear each area.
But then again, fast traveling between each of the cyberspace levels, I think that makes sense. But it's just like every other aspect of fast travel I don't think would be good.
How displaced you often find.
Grind for 30 seconds, and if you don't get hit, you never lose the boost. That encourages you to get good at the combat and avoid getting hit. Well, yeah, but it's like, I still don't think it's a good idea. Like, I don't. It's like, basically every other Sonic game didn't have to restrict your abilities just because you took damage. I don't think it's a good idea, no matter which way you spin it. Because what you're essentially doing is, like, the player taking damage is the only punishment they need. Like, it would be like if you took damage in a Dark Souls game, and then the game was just like, alright, your sword is just removed from your inventory. It's like, I don't like that. Like, taking damage is the only punishment you need for taking damage.
Yourself when you take a seemingly small detour to collect a memory token, it's quite unfortunate that the developers chose to take this approach. What they do offer you...
I miss Frontiers, I might replay it. I would have to mod the shit out of this game in order to enjoy it. I won't lie.
Occasionally are rails that you can use as a sort of miniature fast.
So it's like, look at this look at this with like the boost. It just feels so pathetic. Like the animations are non-existent. There's no boost aura. Ironically enough, the boost gauge has more animation than Sonic himself. It's just pathetic.
But that is no substitute for the real thing. I would have greatly preferred if you could teleport to any cyberspace portal.
Is Frontiers like every other Sonic game, or is it a completely different Sonic game for the series? Well, no, it is a boost game half the time. Like, I don't really know what to say. It is a boost game half the time. And also, again, it's like, Frontiers trying to be something new isn't the problem. Frontiers trying to be something new, and the execution is a worse game than previous games, that's an issue.
Unlocked it at the bare minimum. Instead, you're
just use the spin dash, but you have to unlock the spin dash, unless you're playing on PC, and then you can just cheat the spin dash into the game. It's like the spin dash you have to actually get by completing all of like the challenges, I think.
Forced to traverse the terrain, which is a largely...
And also, you gotta keep in mind that the spin dash didn't even exist when the game, like, launched. So it's like, these issues that I'm talking about were, like, even worse when the game first came out.
Uninspiring, undetailed, and barren landscape with an extremely limited color palette. In contrast to the vibrant and exciting cyberspace levels that are filled with so much personality,
the cyberspace levels suck. I'm sorry. This is where I was agreeing with him for the most part. I disagree with them here. I think the cyberspace levels are among the worst levels that we've ever seen for the boost formula. Like, they go for quantity over quality, they reuse level aesthetics, they reuse level designs, they're incredibly short. The controls for Sonic and the handling just don't feel very good. It truly is bottom of the barrel. And in some instances, I think they're worse than Forces levels. And you guys know what I think about Forces. Do you think open world works for Sonic? I think it's possible to do open world Sonic, yes. Frontiers was not how you do it. Like, Frontiers had some really good ideas, it's just the finished product just did not land those ideas.
Overworld looks dim and lifeless. It's actually hard to believe that all of this footage was recorded with the same brightness setting. But hey, at least the motion blur effect is enabled by default, which helps to distract you from the lack of detail in the grass and other terrain objects.
Damn. Jesus. What a roast.
To break up the monotony of an overworld with absolutely no character, the overworld is filled with random...
See, again, it's like, I recently saw gameplay of Shadow of the Colossus. Like, hold on.
Most Sonic games have a better story than Mario's.
Hey, Lizardbean, thank you for another $10. It means a lot, dude. Most Sonic games have a better story than Mario's. I mean, Mario's stories are very repetitive because it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, it's timeless. But it's like, I think Sonic games are a bit more like out there when it comes to stories. But it's like, not gonna lie, I recently looked at gameplay from Shadow of the Colossus. Not the remake, the original Shadow of the Colossus. And it's actually scary just how similar it looks to Frontiers. And I'm fairly certain the game's released like 20 years apart and like 2 or 3 console generations behind each other.
Rails and platforms that have
like this like look at this shit. It just does not look appealing at all. Like this looks like the sort of texture you would find in like the alpha state of a game. Like this looks like something you'd find in Sonic 06. I think it looks terrible in here. It's like even Shadow Generations, a game that took place in the void, like that game looked better than this.
the same design no matter which island you're on to add to the lack of variety and detail present in this game. Seriously, this was such a missed opportunity to add some style to each island.
My fucking god.
To make matters worse, these platforms...
Sonic Frontiers looks like a fan game, and even then, I think that's an insult to fan games.
will abruptly
some of them
pop
anyways
into view once you get close enough to them. There is unfortunately no option to change.
like bro, look at that shit. The pop. Let's just rewind and look at that pop in.
There is unfortunately no option to change the render distance.
Look at that is awful.
This means that we are stuck with
like genuinely, like. It's not like I'm Digital Foundry and I'm like looking at the game under a microscopic lens. I'm literally just watching it happen in real time.
Pop in to ever appear.
Here it comes.
Premium priced video.
Any second. Whoop! There it is.
Uninspiring is the story. The bar was so low for Sonic games that this is being heralded as some sort of narrative masterpiece. Maybe it's because I've played other games that actually deserve this level of praise, but I am just not.
There's literally more detail in Eggman's jacket than there is in the open world. It's so sad.
Seeing it. The lack of terrible jokes was greatly appreciated, and the story does at least qualify to be called a story, but all the same, it largely fell flat for me. I felt almost no emotional attachment to anything that was happening with the characters, except maybe for Sage, but I felt like Sage was not explored nearly as well as she could have been.
See, the problem as well is that the problem with the story as well is that Eggman and Sage basically don't do anything now in the story. It's like, at the very least in the base game, like, Sage sacrifices herself to, like, save everyone, and it's kind of like a satisfying end to her character. But in Final Horizons, they basically just retcon that. And now, like, Sage and Eggman don't really do anything now. Like, they're literally just there. Like, you could remove Eggman and Sage from the story, and literally nothing would change now. Unless you were to play, like, the original ending.
Eggman was almost completely unused, other than his highly predictable partnership with Sonic near the end. There was a lack of a true villain, there was not a single shocking twist, and the ending. Oh, good God, the ending. The first 3 islands built up some semblance of a real story, and then it comes crashing down in the latter 2 islands. There's a reason that the promotional material only ever showed the first 3. The 4th island involves climbing 6 towers with a tiny bit of lore about
Frontier's story feels like fanfiction. I know, right?
The ancient civilization that is given to you at the top of each individual tower. This lore was interesting, but it felt like a last-minute addition to the story that did not actually help move things forward. You could remove all of this information, and the story would play out basically the same. For what it's worth, I did actually enjoy the lore, but I'm bothered by how out of place it felt. The fifth island was extremely forgettable, but it actually had the best pacing by far because of the ridiculously inflated fishing rewards that allow you to collect all of the gears and memory tokens you could possibly need just by hanging out with Big the Cat.
Hey, Lizardbean.
The original ending to Frontiers isn't bad. It's just disappointing.
Thank you very much for the $5. The original ending to Frontiers isn't bad, it's just disappointing. But it's like, I think it makes sense for Sage's character at least. Like, she basically spends the entire game trying to kill Sonic, and then she pilots the Supreme Titan and sacrifices herself to stop the end. I think for Sage at least, I think the original ending was better. But also, whilst we're here, have we got that comment that someone made? I don't know if we do. Someone commented it on, like, I think they said my recent video, but I don't know if they meant my recent short. Let me have a cheeky little look, see if we can find it. Apparently they, like, debunked, like, a lot of people's... Oh yeah, here it is. I found it. Let's see if... I don't know if I can zoom in on this, but, let's have a read. I apologize if you guys, like, can't read it. I'll do my best. In defense of Sonic Frontiers, the story of the game is the best we've got in ages. That's not a fucking achievement by any stretch of the imagination, since the last time we got a good story was Black Knight, which came out 12 years ago. It's like, congratulations, it was the least smelly shit in the toilet, but it was still shit. It takes itself serious and brings the characters forward. I mean, not really. Like, around half the characters get development, and even then it's like, I would argue that the only characters that actually get development is Knuckles and Amy. Because with Tails, they're basically just like, haha, yeah, fucking, Tails was written poorly in Forces, we promise he's not going to be like that in future games. That's basically his entire arc. And again, Tails already had this arc in Sonic Adventure 1. The arc of not relying on Sonic. Like, I think the only good development they give is Knuckles. Genuinely, that's like the only character who gets a decent arc in this game. Not even Sage. Because, like, in Final Horizons, they basically ruin her character now. Because it's like, the best thing about Sage was her sacrifice at the end. And they basically just got rid of that, so I don't even know what to say at this point. Tails is no longer the guy who is following Sonic. I mean, he still is, but... Fixing something the other games ruined isn't the game's fault. But it hasn't fixed it, though. All it did was say, yeah, future games will fix it. Like, that's not an accomplishment. That's not Frontiers fixing previous games' fuck-ups. That's Frontiers promising that future games will fix it. Like, I don't know what to say, dude. Like, what you're describing is not the timeline we live in. They brought him back to his Adventure 2 persona of him being his own hero. They literally didn't. What game did you play? Because that ain't the game we played. Amy isn't just a fangirl anymore. I mean, she wasn't a fangirl in fucking Forces or Lost World either. Like, Frontiers isn't the game you want to give that to Amy for.
You should react to Shadow.
As far as I know, she still loves him, it's just not her focus in life anymore. Again, you could say that for Forces as well. Knuckles learned he doesn't always have to guard the Emerald but have fun and just enjoy life. That's the only one I can agree with. Even Eggman got some character development with his daughter Sage. I guess. In the original ending, he was so sad about her. Well, yeah, it's like, and then they just retcon it. So, again, it's like, the development he had is debatably not even canon anymore. Like, time will tell. The open zone is a fun concept where you'll always find something and getting distracted from the path you originally wanted to go. I mean, not really. Like, the entire game is just a collectathon, dude. Like, it's really not... There's really, like, yeah, you're spoilt for choice of boring-ass tasks to do. Yeah, you've got that right. Lizardbean, thank you for the $10. You should react to Shadow Generations review by iRev. Oh, I dread to think what they would have said about that. Sonic didn't feel so good to play since Adventure because he isn't energetic, which is weird because the IDW comments he is. Oh wait, hold on, I've skipped a line of dialogue, hold on. Sonic didn't feel so good to play out since Adventure because he is so responsive. I think the art style is likable. I just like the cartoony characters who interact with a realistic environment. Play Sonic Unleashed then, it does it better than this game does. The game isn't perfect either, it needs a lot of polish. That is a understatement. The game doesn't look colourful enough. Yep, I agree with that. Sonic isn't energetic, which is weird, because the IDW comics he is, and the ending of the game is disappointing. Final Horizons fixed it with 3 additional playable characters and a better final boss. They also made it so that Sage and Eggman... I almost said Sage and Onion. Sage and Eggman are basically pointless now. We got 2 transformations. Again, like, one of them isn't even playable, and one of them will never be playable again, but okay. In both forms, Sonic is the coolest hedgehog around, he's not playing. Also, Final Horizons is only hated because it's too hard and fans wanted it to be hard. I mean, no, Final Horizons is hated for other reasons, like, that's blatantly a lie. Like, Final Horizons was hated for quite a lot of reasons. The biggest reason that I can think of off the top of my head was the freaking Titan Gauntlet. Like, I'm sorry, but fighting Wyvern, Giganto, and Knight back-to-back with a level 1 Sonic and only 400 rings, that is terrible game design. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think those Titan fights are well made by any means of the imagination, but like, they basically turned fights that could potentially be fun and turned them into frustrating messes. Because of the perfect parry mechanic. Like, they were poorly made. And the funny thing is that they weren't even difficult. Like, they were difficult by poor game design. Like, a game being difficult and well designed is something like Dark Souls. Where it's like, okay, the game will beat your bollocks dry, but if you get good, you can fight back. With Frontiers, though, it's a case of, okay, can you parry the attacks of a boss that wasn't intended for a parry mechanic? And if you can't, well, tough, you have to fight not just that boss again, but also Giganto again. You have to go right back to the start. You unironically just proved this point, you're complaining the boss rush is too hard. It's hard because it's not well designed. That's the difference. It's like, I don't think it, like, all they would have had to do is make it so that you get a checkpoint after beating each Titan. Like, you beat Giganto, you don't have to fight Giganto again. You can just keep retrying Knight. You can keep replaying Wyvern. That's all they would have had to do. Like, yeah, it would have still been shit. It would have still been poorly designed. But at the very least, it would have been bearable if you got, like, a freaking checkpoint in between each of them. But they didn't even do that. And it's like, I don't think that Giganto is that bad, because his attacks are very well telegraphed. But Knight, and especially Wyvern, take the piss. They do. I'm sorry, it was not well designed, by any means. People did the Master King challenge first try, they did not. I'm sorry, you are living under a rock, my guy. Like, I can guarantee you people that... Like, you're unironically trying to convince me that people mastered parrying all 3 Titans on the first go when they never had to do that before? I'm sorry, you're just lying. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I need to have a strategy for the boss. There are thousands of tutorials. Yeah, and why do you think thousands of tutorials exist? It's because people got stuck. It's the same reason people got stuck with the frickin', the final boss against the Supreme Titan. It's because the game doesn't convey to you that you have to, like, stop locking onto the Titan itself and target the umbilical cord. And the game also doesn't convey to you that you have to side-loop Supreme's gun. So it's like, yeah, people got stuck on that as well.
For a few minutes. It caps off with a fight with the last Titan, Supreme. I knew that the fight with Supreme could not possibly be the
It's not well designed,
The
like,
music,
there's
which
no
up until this
defending
point
it.
had been phenomenal, was way worse than the previous Titan battles, to the point that it was actually quite insulting. Surely, Sega wouldn't give the
Especially since you didn't need the perfect parry at all in the campaign. Like, this mechanic was basically either completely optional or not even in the game to begin with. And then for like the second half of the DLC, they were like, okay, you know this ability that you've probably never used before? Yeah, you need to rely on it from now on. I don't think it's good design.
final boss a bad backing track. It's then revealed, unsurprisingly, that Supreme has a true form. As long as you're playing on hard mode, you can enjoy a final fight. The decision to lock this content behind a difficulty setting...
It is well designed. Master King says you have to master the cyber corruption. I don't give a shit. It's like I mastered the combat system by unlocking everything in the skill tree. Like, I mastered the game by leveling Sonic to 99 in all stats. That is me mastering the game. Suddenly putting me back to level 1 and forcing me to rely on an ability that I've never used before in the main game is not me mastering the game. That is simply taking the piss.
With zero warning to the player is frankly unacceptable. If you're not playing on the hard difficulty mode, then unfortunately for you, the final epic and decisive battle between good and evil boils down to 3 quick-time events. And then the game just ends. If you're fortunate enough to play the game on hard mode, then I hope you enjoyed the bullet hell...
This came out before... Okay, I think this came out before Final Horizons.
...hacking minigames up until this point. If you don't, then I guess that's too bad for you. I felt utterly betrayed by how the final 10 to 20 minutes of this game played out, and it has honestly soured my opinion of this game more than anything else ever could have. Now let's talk...
It is a pretty disappointing final boss, I will say. The most concerning part about Update 3 is that it takes into account the feedback they got from Twitter. Well, yeah, it's like, they probably looked at complaints of the parry, where people were like, okay, it doesn't require any timing at all. Like, the parrying in the base game is highly exploitable. And they were like, okay, well, why don't we make it so that it requires timing? But the issue with that is that it exposes the fact that many of the enemies in the game, they weren't designed with timing required for their attacks. With, like, Wyvern being one of the worst examples. Like, that's the issue. It's like, I don't think the issue is introducing the perfect parry to the game. I just think that the enemies weren't designed for that.
About combat for a moment. I didn't expect much from the developers when it came to combat, so the fact that the combat was about as deep as the shallow end of a swimming pool was expected and didn't really detract from my overall experience. Or at least that's what I'd like to say, but I can't. As you continue through the game...
I also think it was pretty lame that the skill tree... Like, we didn't get an expansion to the skill tree in Final Horizons. Like, the closest thing that we got to that was just each individual character having their own bite-sized skill tree. Like, it would have been cool if, like, Sonic had, like, more, like, things in Final Horizons. I think that would have been cool.
Unlock various abilities on your skill tree.
Sonic Meat Rider. He says, whilst I'm openly criticizing Frontiers at any opportunity I get. Yeah, makes sense.
Most of these abilities, when used in combat, are attached to a miniature cutscene. I was so bored of these abilities before I even finished my casual playthrough that if it wasn't optimal to continue using them, I would have mashed X repeatedly instead.
Is the video bad? No, I'm agreeing with most of it. I don't like Sonic Frontiers, I'm sorry.
You're probably wondering if I liked anything at all about this game, and I did. The music was by far the best aspect of this game, as is typically the case when it comes to Sonic games. The Cyberspace levels were exciting, and a great change of pace compared to the overall...
Hey Kiwi, how you doing? I hate to say it, but even though you're not a Zelda fan, the Zelda games have better parrying than Sonic Frontiers. Fair dues.
World sections.
I believe
Sonic's
it.
Movement was actually pretty good, and as long as you're not getting popped into the air by accident, which happens all the time, it felt pretty fluid. The Titan battles were mostly enjoyable, as were most of the Guardians, when I actually wanted to fight them and not be interrupted with their miniature cutscenes.
He's stuck inside Ashura. The fuck?
And most surprisingly, this is probably the best implementation of the horrible boost mechanic that we've seen so far in the franchise. Although I clearly do think that the core gameplay design works, the negatives hurt this game far too much for me to say that this was a great game or even a good game. It's certainly not a 10, it's not a 9, and it's not even an 8. If the ending wasn't so
6.
unbelievably disappointing,
5.
then maybe I could have called it a 7.
You're gonna make ramen? That's awesome.
But even that feels way too generous. So I'm sure that you're all wondering why I said at the beginning of this video that this was a good formula that could work. The developers were more ambitious with this game than they have been in a very long time, and I think this should be celebrated. They bit off a bit more.
It is, like, that is one thing that I think Frontiers had the right idea about, is trying something new. But the problem with that is they couldn't even commit to it, because obviously, like, they reuse tons of assets for the cyberspace stuff. So it feels as though they just couldn't commit to trying something new, and it's such a shame. Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, trying things new, like, can work. I mean, Sonic Unleashed was literal proof of that for me. It was the first 3D boost game, and in my opinion, it was the best Sonic game ever made. So, like, experimentation can work, and I encourage them to try it, but this game just needed more time in the oven. It is that simple. Thank you for the $10, Lizard Bean. Chaos Island, Something Island, and Raya Island are the worst islands. I didn't mind Raya Island that much, purely because it was quick to get through, and I actually enjoyed climbing the towers to an extent. It would have been nice if there was a Titan fight, but it's like, I actually enjoyed Raya Island purely because there wasn't much bullshit to the island. Like, there wasn't, like, unnecessary collector farms. Like, I actually quite liked Raya Island, and it was bizarrely addicting watching Sonic, like, gradually succumb to the cyber corruption whilst climbing these big freaking towers. I thought Rare Island was probably one of the better islands, weirdly. It's probably a hot take, but I don't know, I thought it was fun.
Then they could chew here.
How long's your stream gonna be? Another hour, something like that, maybe?
Game trying.
It's not that they couldn't commit, they just had to... It's not about commitment, it's about money. The developers don't have infinite money or time. Well, again, it's like, that's not my problem, and it's not yours, you know? It's like, they released the game in its current state, they could have delayed it. It's like, at the end of the day, releasing games in an unfinished state is literally what nearly killed the franchise, not once, but twice before. You know? It's like...
way too hard to include way too many things, and the result was a game that unfortunately missed the mark in so many different ways. If they could fix some of the issues...
For what Frontiers was, yes, it needed more time, but look at what it had to be, essentially the savior of the franchise. Well, yeah, but it's like, Unleashed did it. Generations did it. It's like... I guess Mania, you could also say that did it. It's like, it's definitely possible. I just wish that this game did it.
That I had with this game, then I could see it easily being the best Sonic game ever made.
Yeah, it could have been.
I promise, I am
It
not
genuinely could have been. Frontiers could have been the best Sonic game ever made.
critical because I just want to hate everything. I'm critical because I can't.
Unleashed is less ambitious than Frontiers. I completely disagree. It literally was the first game that brought the boost formula to 3D. It was ambitious. And also, something being less ambitious doesn't automatically make it worse. I'd rather see 1 or 2 things done beautifully than 6 or 7 things done terribly.
And I want the absolute best for the Blue Hedgehog. I do think the game, as
Sonic
it currently stands, has...
The game was unfinished, the game was unfinished, just unpolished. You can't argue the game is broken or something. I mean, the game it definitely is broken in some regards. Like, the pop-in is genuinely unacceptable. Like, the pop-in for this game is terrible. Like, there's no defending it. I don't know what to say. Pimp Demon, thank you for the 20 knock. I'm guessing that's the equivalent of $2 because of the colour of the donation. Sonic Murder, best Sonic game? Yeah, probably. I haven't played it, though, the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. I've heard it's decent.
Immense potential as a speedrun, so that's where I will be shifting my focus with the game moving forward. I am very excited to see what the community can put together in the coming weeks to months. I hope that this video adequately articulated why I didn't enjoy the game casually. Many people went in with zero expectations for a Sonic game, but I want much more than that. If you enjoyed this...
Yeah, literally. It basically, yeah, people went... I set my expectations too high, and I was disappointed when I played this. Frontiers took a step, so Frontiers 2 could shine. Time will tell, unfortunately. We don't know that. Who do we watch now? Do we watch Jay's reviews? There is another video that I found. I can't remember which one it was. There was Jay's reviews, and then there was someone else. Annoyingly, I can't fucking find it now. Maybe it'll be in my history, actually. Let's have a cheeky little look. Why has it minimized my history? What the fuck? No, what the fuck? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's two that we can watch. We can watch, Jay's reviews, or we can watch Frontiers, from... Sonic GT, PO6, Unleashed, and Generations are all above Frontiers. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. We should watch Jay's reviews. Alright, I'm fairly certain we've watched Jay's reviews before, but we'll do it again. Why not?
Now that you've gotten past my...
Oh, hold on.
So, roughly a year ago, the world was graced by Sonic Frontiers, the latest main series 3D Sonic game from Sonic Team. This game came after a 5-year gap between it and...
Has anyone mentioned Sonic Frontiers sales yet? No, because sales are irrelevant. We're talking about the game itself. It doesn't matter how much it's sold. We're talking about the game itself.
the previous game, Sonic Forces. That game failed to deliver in many ways that I don't want to spend too much time on today because I did a decently long Sonic Forces video last year that said just about everything I need to say about that mess. Sonic Frontiers promised to be a much bigger game than they'd done in recent memory with a larger world and more to do in it. And it might even tell a story this time.
Sega was just getting impatient. Yeah, and it's like, they don't freaking learn their lesson. Like, they got impatient with bloody 06. They got impatient with other games. It's like, what are you doing?
This had a lot of people really hyped for it, to say the absolute least, but in the eyes of the mainstream, Sonic Frontiers caught a lot more attention than any Sonic game had in over 10 years. Perhaps the promise of fighting huge bosses as Supersonic and speeding through massive overworlds just seemed cooler than any recent offering. But regardless of whatever the reason is, Sonic Frontiers is one of the highest rated and best-selling
I think Frontiers is a 6 out of 10 mid. Yeah, I'd say it's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I think that's fair. I saw a video of someone talking about Frontiers defending Cyberspace. It's called What Frontiers Does Better Than Other Open Worlds. Interesting.
Sonic games of the last 10 years. Since this game, seemingly, was everything I claimed to have wanted from Sonic, a lot were expecting my review of it to be super positive. And the video I ended up doing left people disappointed. Some even said it was that way because it was rushed. And I will admit, from the moment I installed the game on my PS5 to the moment the video released was a span of like 82 hours. So I can see why people would feel that way. And I would say...
I think I have the most fun modding Frontiers. I can totally see that, yeah. I think Frontiers definitely had the most potential for mods.
To a certain extent, the video was rushed, and that is why it was as positive as it was.
It's a little better than Adventure 2. I think Frontiers is much better than Adventure 2, to be honest. Like, I think that Adventure 2, Shadow Generations, and Frontiers are probably the most overrated games in the series, but I still think Frontiers is better than Adventure 2, at least.
And that was not a joke. That video was me trying my damnedest to look at the bright side, while showing off how much I didn't like a lot of the game. I even gave it a 5 out of 10 at the end, which was also me trying to be nice. There are games I thought were pretty much perfect, and I don't think Sonic Frontiers is half as good as those games, so therefore my giving it a 5 was an attempt at being kind. Though I did consider giving it a 6 at one point. But that doesn't matter right now. The point of this video—
Wait, you say Frontiers is mid and it's better than SA2, so you give SA2 a 4 out of 10? Mate, I give SA2 like a 2.5 out of 10. Is Forces better? Fuck no. Forces is one of the worst games I've ever played. Like, I think SA2 is genuinely a terrible video game, and it has not aged well in the slightest.
Is that it has now been a year since Sonic Frontiers released, and we've gotten 3 waves of free DLC for it. In that year, I've had time to think about it without having played the game at all or any of its new content, so I thought now would be a good time to go back to Sonic Frontiers and see if I was, in fact, too harsh or too kind on this game. Let's start with the positives.
It's like, I think that's a better idea for a boss rush. Like, fighting all of the freaking, like, Guardians back to back. I think that's a better idea.
Because there are things I said that were good about this game that I didn't gush over nearly enough. Or really, just one thing. The music. I said I liked the music in my
Frontiers has a pretty fucking good soundtrack.
Video from last year, but in the time since, I think I can say it's absolutely one of my favorites in the franchise.
I don't really like the Cyberspace levels all that much in terms of the music, but I think the open world, the open zone themes are pretty atmospheric, and I think the Titan themes slap, so...
Bias, but Undefeatable, Break Through It All, Find Your Flame, and I'm Here are songs I listen to somewhat often without getting sick of them. Numerous vocal themes throughout Sonic history are iconic in the realm of video.
Why do you think Frontiers is so liked? You say it's overrated, meaning you think the majority, so why do people like it? I feel like people like Frontiers because it was better than average. Or, like, it was better than a lot of bad Sonic games. Like, because if you think about it, it's like, Frontiers was better than Forces, it was better than Rise of Lyric, it was better than Lost World. So, like, it was probably one of the better 3D Sonic games in, like, 10 years. I think that's why people liked Frontiers. Because it was up against such crap competition that it elevated the game. I think that's why people liked it. Because they were like, holy shit, we have a Sonic game that's not complete ass.
Video games, but I think the boss themes in Sonic Frontiers are just really good songs. If the recent Sonic Symphony concert tour is anything to go by, these songs also became instantly iconic too. The Cyberspace themes are also—
Frontiers, along with Unleashed and Black Knight, have the best soundtracks. Interestingly enough, I think that Unleashed and Colors have the best soundtracks. Just me, personally.
Ones I've gone back to for background noise a lot over the last year. I really like the music in Sonic Frontiers, and I think the new music added for the Final Horizon update makes for a great listen as well. Shifting gears to the gameplay, I said it before and I'll say it again. It's great that there are sliders in the options so you can customize things like the acceleration. Every player is going to have a different idea of how it should handle, and so developers including options to tweak the experience to your liking is a great thing. Like last year, I just turned almost everything to max, and that's how I enjoyed it the most. Even though many people thought my control issues with this game were caused by this, despite the original video complimenting the game for this fact. No, what I complained about were things baked into the game, like how Sonic had this ludicrously unnatural jump where you, regardless of whatever speed you were going at—
A Colors OST Defender? Yeah, Colors has like a consistently goated soundtrack. I think there's only one track in the entire game I'm not so sure on, and that's Speak With Your Heart. It doesn't do much for me personally. Everything else is fantastic about Colors.
Would lose all of it by jumping. Something you can verify just by looking at the speedometer in the bottom right of the screen. When jumping, it just snapped back to near zero, and as a result, I thought the game felt super limp to play when running around. This was actually addressed, finally, in Update 2 earlier this year. Sliders were added for Sonic's deceleration, and as a result, you can now carry your speed into jumps. I don't know how that wasn't in the game before. I mean, it's basic physics. And countless games have it, including Sonic games that came before this one. But still, it was nice that they listened to feedback and implemented this. The grand prize for completing all the—
If they're gonna do Frontiers 2, they better make the boss themes on par with Frontiers boss themes. I really hope that they make the Titans in, like, the new game. I hope that they make them, like, actual, like, creatures. Like, I like the Titans as much as the next person, but I think that we can all agree that they were just visually a bit repetitive. Like, how cool would it be, for example, if, like, Gigantor was, like, overgrown? Like, he was basically like a giant tree because of nature just growing around Giganto. If you guys have played Skylanders, right? Imagine Tree Rex from Skylanders, where it's like a machine, but just like wood and vines and overgrowth just all over him. I think that would look way better. Same thing with Wyvern. Like with Wyvern, cover the fucker in sand. Make him camouflage against the environment. Make him act like an actual living creature. And then with Night, set the fucker on fire. Make them all look unique. They just look so boring in the base game, because they just all look the same.
Content update 2 is the spin dash. With the press of a button, Sonic will go...
Like, the freaking Guardians look better than the Titans. That is a crime.
Flying and fly off.
At the very least, the Guardians are all different colours. It's like the Titans just all look the same.
Inclines.
Like, imagine Knight, but with a flaming sword. That would be amazing! He has a flaming sword, and he has a shield made of, like, volcanic, like, obsidian. Like, the outline of his shield.
Work with proper momentum. Like, you don't gain more speed by going...
That would be amazing.
Downhill and lose it by going up. It's more of a boost. But I can't
I'm not too sure how you'd fix Supreme's design. But at the very least, for the first 3, like, it would be awesome.
I mind either way.
Just replace his sniper rifle with a freaking intervention from Modern Warfare 2. Problem solved.
This thing being able to go fast and fly off of things makes Sonic Frontiers significantly more fun than it ever was before. A large quantity of fans have defended the game from my criticism that you don't get to go fast and go flying in the overworld by saying that it would break the game, and like, yeah, that's the idea. It's an open world Sonic game. Who doesn't want to just fly around like this? It is the thing that Sonic does. I just thought that...
Yeah, I think that's another thing I don't really like about Frontiers. It just feels like the game is fighting you at every opportunity. It's like, I want to break the game and yeet myself across the islands. And the game is like, no, you cannot do this.
Of this game was its
It's
biggest...
like, why not? It would be fun. It would be fun, would it not?
Issue last year, and I think the game has been more enjoyable with these new additions. The spin dash requires a lot of effort to unlock with these score trials in every island, but if you played it on PC as I did, one trip to the mod loader's cheat list...
What does camouflage bring whilst fighting the end in space? No, I'm talking about how the mech would have adapted. Like... Because obviously it would have just been chilling in Ares Island for, like, goodness knows how long. Like, the machine could have adapted. I think that would have been cool. And also, camouflage gives you stealth. Like, have you seen the Predator?
To let you unlock the spin dash from the start, and I have absolutely no shame in admitting that. In the base game, all the control options...
Do you want Infinite to return at some point? No. Not unless they were to change his character, because I think he was such a wasted villain.
...did not apply to Cyberspace.
Unironically, I think it would be cool if Infinite was to return, and if they were to redeem him, and make him like a hero.
Base levels...
I need to remember to join your Discord. Fairly certain there's a link in the description, isn't there? Let me just check. I can't check. My bad. I'll get you guys a link to the Discord server if you want, and I'll put it in chat.
Only the open world portions. Because of this, I thought Cyberspace played in an even more limp way than the open world because you had to play with the default control settings. I really hated Cyberspace as a result because I thought the movement was stiff and slow. Thankfully, with Update 2, all the control sliders and the spin dash now apply to Cyberspace, and these levels become way more
How should the machine adapt while the whole system was deactivated? Okay, don't deactivate it then. Problem solved. Put it on like a sentry setting, where it just like, it's inactive, but it will defend the Starfall Islands if needs be. Problem solved. I don't get why you always hating on the pop-in in Frontiers. The pop-in isn't even that bad. The pop-in is terrible. Like, the pop-in is unexcusably bad, my guy. Like, it's 2025. The game released in 2021. The pop-in should not be this bad. Especially when we have games like Spider-Man Remastered that released the same year. And the pop-in was like you have like an entire city, like, with nowhere near as bad pop-in. It shouldn't be this bad. There's no defending it. It's like it wasn't as bad as this in previous Sonic games, and it's nowhere near this bad in other video games outside of Sonic. I just have high standards, what can I say? I don't like slop content.
As a result. You can zoom off of inclines with the spin dash, or just jump with a high
It was 2022? Oh, well, fuck me then.
speed for distance, and I think it'd be really,
That's even worse then. I thought it was 2021.
really cool. You also have to play somewhat normally if you want to complete each of the stages' objective list, which nets you the most vault keys, which are needed for progression, so the new features definitely don't break cyberspace. And yeah, those are the ways.
Bro, C rank is 1 minute 40 seconds. Isn't that like an S rank in some of the Generations levels? It feels that way anyways. It was deactivated all those years. What do you mean don't deactivate it? Yeah, just change the plot. Change the plot so they don't need to be deactivated. Problem solved. Like, easy fix to your solution. Make it so it's like a sentry mode, where they're like deactivated for the most part, but they will reactivate to defend the Starfall Islands if the end ever returned. Problem solved.
Ways in which my opinion on Sonic Frontiers has improved since last year. But to rip the band-aid off, that wasn't enough to make me think Sonic Frontiers was a good or fun game. So let's talk about it. What do you do in Sonic Frontiers? Well, in 4 of the 5 islands, you run around fighting bosses to collect...
Spider-Man PS4 was 2018. Yeah, Spider-Man Remastered was... 2021, I think. Wise bro watching this, Frontiers has been out for 4 years. Okay, and?
gears that allow you to get into cyberspace where you collect vault keys.
Genuinely, what's your point?
For completing objectives, and vault keys allow you to collect chaos.
It's nice you like Unleashed, but I really don't get the controversy with the night levels. I swear you could beat the mess out. It was a relief from the fast-paced boot stages. Yeah, I like the Unleashed boot at nighttime levels.
Emeralds, and when you get them all, you can be supersonic and destroy the Titan that patrols that
nighttime
island.
Levels were great.
To the next one. While on the island, you do mini objectives to expand the map and collect trinkets that let you access more cutscenes or upgrade your.
The pop-in is with the cyberspace platforms and rails. They aren't meant to even be rendered everywhere. They aren't naturally there. They're conjured by Sonic. So from a story aspect, the pop-in makes sense. Dude, don't even try defend it. Like, you're defending shit game development by saying that it makes sense with the story. It's like, if that's the case, then why are the cyberspace levels, like, not popping in as Sonic is running over them? Like, I appreciate the attempt at defending the game, but please try harder.
Stats. And that is precisely what
Spider-Man Remastered came out in 2020. I'm probably thinking of Miles Morales. No, Miles Morales came out in 2020, didn't it? Am I just a dickhead?
Game was last
I can't remember. I'm losing my fucking mind.
year and still is now. Fundamentally,
I can't remember when the games came out. I'm getting old.
I don't think the gameplay loop of Sonic Frontiers is enjoyable. The spin dash makes it so that traveling across the open area is significantly more fun than it ever was when the game first released, which is a positive, but the content you're traveling all this way to do is just something I don't find fun. I think the open zones are really chaotic.
Because the cyberspace levels are in cyberspace and not in the open zone real world. It's literally that simple. Okay, so why doesn't the open world also pop in then? Like, why is it these specific segments? Why don't the Guardians pop in? Like, I'm sorry, dude. Please don't try defend shit game development by saying it makes sense with the story. Especially since I'm fairly certain it's never established that these sections are, like, at all tied to the story.
The level design is littered with platforms and grind rails suspended in the sky with little visual cohesion, and oftentimes the game will just force you into an automated path sending you off target from where you were trying to get to. Made worse when you get to Chaos Island and the developer...
Like, I think it speaks volumes as to how desperate you are to defend the game when you're unironically defending the frickin' geometry popping in as story significant. Like, I'm sorry, that is insanity.
Start loading the island up with 2D sections that further restrict your freedom and exploration. With these rapid...
let me guess, you're gonna say that Sonic is also imagining being locked in 2D segments as well?
Rapid camera angle shifts and...
Like, this is just Sonic tripping balls?
Sequences. Regardless of having the spin dash, I don't think this is a fun world to play in or explore. But then, the content you're going to still doesn't hold much water for me. The tasks and puzzles you solve in the overworld are really basic, like following a path or quick-stepping rapidly in place or putting Tetris blocks together. It just doesn't offer me anything fun.
Go back to that, hold on.
Stepping rapidly in place or putting Tetris blocks.
Literally the freaking Fortress Guardian is an entire country mile away, and yet he isn't popped in. He is there. Why does Geometry need to pop in like 2 feet away from us when you have freaking entire Guardians that are miles away already rendered in?
Blocks together. It just doesn't offer me anything fun to do in the map. The combat system may involve this list of moves you unlock with skill points, but I think the combat falls flat in its face because none of it is necessary or really that useful. Pretty much every attack is a button combo that starts a cinematic animation where Sonic will do the attack, and some of them can be cool, I guess, but oftentimes I just think it's limp anyway because of the sound effects and because of how—
Say what you want, Frontiers had good puzzles. Did they? I mean, they certainly were puzzles. I'll give you that one.
Sometimes you'll not even be hitting the enemy and they'll be taking damage. It's just lame from a feedback perspective, but then from a depth perspective it doesn't work. I've defended simple combat mechanics before, but this is just too—
It's all the more funny when people say that this game makes you feel powerful as Sonic, or it feels as though Sonic got a buff, when, if anything, fighting the Guardians, it feels like Sonic is badly nerfed. Because the Guardians just sit there and don't react to your attacks. And the same thing can honestly be said for the Titans. Like, in the cutscenes, Sonic can, like, freaking throw Wyvern into a mountain. Or he can knock, like, Knight on his ass. Or he can knock Knight into the air. But it's like, when you're actually attacking them, they just sit there and just take it. They're just like... Titans just don't give a shit.
Simple, and also masks its simplicity with a bunch of options that feel pretty meaningless.
It's like, not even the regular enemies seem to care.
How you can approach every combat scenario in Sonic Frontiers. Spam the spinning leg kick until you unlock the hand beam attack later in the game.
He's literally sending, like, all of these freaking projectiles towards Supreme. Supreme's just looking like he's forgotten what day of the week it is.
Shreds through enemy health bars like it's nothing, and if they have a shield up, side-loop them, and then you can do the attacks I just said. Sometimes it is good to get up close, though, and do the sweeping tornado attack, but other than that, I don't really feel like the other options are that important. In a game like Devil May Cry, you have this—
I don't even think the game has problems, but I think you blow the pop-in out of proportions, and Blade Chronicles X has pop-in 2 on the Wii U. Is it a bad game, then? Well, again, it's on the Wii U. This game was on the PS5 and Series X and PC. Like, again, it's like, I think it's shit that Xenoblade Chronicles X had pop-in, but at the very least it had an excuse of being a couple generations old. What excuse does Frontiers have?
Big move pool, but you need to use these moves.
What Sonic game has a
grading system?
Hold on. What Sonic game has a better combat system? Frontiers or Unleashed? Unleashed. I think the nighttime levels in Unleashed had way better combat systems.
Values variety and tactics, not spam. Even though you could spam the same attack if you wanted to, which would—
I think Omniverse Ben 10 versus Sonic without Hypersonic and Alien X is possibly a tie. It can go either way. I'm leaning towards Sonic, I gotta be honest. It's like, even if you get rid of Hypersonic, it's like freaking Cybersonic should be too much.
Wouldn't even be that fun because using all the moves is better. In Frontiers, I don't feel any incentive to use
Fucking top tier animations here. Sonic is just taking a shit.
different moves, and I don't find it that much more interesting to do that. In a game like Batman Arkham, you have to choose between moving really—
Also, can we just appreciate the fact that parrying mid-air just makes you defy gravity? Like, what a mess.
fast when you have a high hit combo, or using one of your combo finishers to take a guy out or destroy his weapon. In Spider-Man, you build up the focus meter and have to choose between taking a guy down with a combo attack or refilling your health bar. In just about every good combat-heavy game, I can think of ways in which more depth is provided, including Sonic Unleashed, I might add. Combat is way faster and more satisfying in that game than in Sonic Frontiers. The biggest killer of all is the parry system, or lack thereof. You hold 2 buttons and Sonic will automatically block any incoming attack, rendering the entire system moot because it doesn't require any skill to engage with. Maybe that could have been a setting in the options, but the fact that this is just how the counter system works just never made sense to me. The thing that makes Royal Guard satisfying in DMC or parrying in Metal Gear Rising or Spider-Man 2 or Resident Evil 4 Remake is specifically the fact that it takes some degree of skill or timing to get right. Frontiers just doesn't have that, so it's boring. But then the game is seemingly—
It's actually kind of interesting when you compare the two side by side, because even though Sonic is like a Dragon Ball or like a cartoon like esque character, it's like he literally has a very similar animation to the Resident Evil game. Yeah, come in. Like, let's rewatch these rewatch these and let's see what we
Metal Gear
think.
Rising
Watch Leon Kennedy's animations and then watch Sonic's animations.
or Spider-Man 2 or Resident Evil 4 Remake is specifically the fact that it takes some degree of skill or timing to get right.
That's one.
Frontiers just doesn't have that, so it's boring. But then the game is seemingly at odds with itself.
Meanwhile, there's this gem right here.
Parry challenges like it's DMC1, as if the game isn't completely broken in this regard.
Like, do I even need to comment on that? Like, I think what makes, like, cartoony-based games or, like, anime-based games so satisfying are the visuals. Like, the animations and stuff, but it's like, Frontiers just, outside of, like, the moves that are basically just animated cutscenes that deal damage to enemies, it's like, there's just barely anything in this game. It just doesn't look right. It reminds me of Shadows combat from OG Sonic 06. It's like Shadows moving and he's doing damage to the enemies, but like there's no animations. It's like
now what someone might be typing
there's no flashy effects.
Comments is that in the Final Horizon update you get moments where
Yeah, see you later, Samantha. It's been good having you here.
perfect parrying is required, and this, in my opinion, just shines.
Besides, you praise PS5 Rift. Say you haven't watched my YouTube channel without saying you haven't watched my YouTube channel. I don't praise the PS5 at all. I think it's a piece of shit. Do you think I'm only a Switch gamer? No, I didn't even buy Switch 2. I'm a PC gamer, but I've only played games since NES and Game Boy, so stuff like Pop-In doesn't bother me. Right, so you're a PC gamer, so you should have high expectations. Like, this Pop-In is unacceptably bad, especially since not all games have it. Like,
The light in the fact that the attacks from the bosses, Wyvern especially, were not designed with this in mind, so it becomes pretty frustrating to guess when you should block. So no matter how I look at the combat, I think it misses the mark. That is a majority of the gameplay loop, but then in Cyberspace, while it's better than it
like
was
I don't
before,
really know
you
what
have
to say,
action.
dude. Like, it's like, I couldn't tell you, off the top of my head, I genuinely couldn't give you a game that had worse pop-in than Frontiers. That released, like, in the last 5 years. I'm genuinely struggling.
Jumping physics, I don't think these levels are lame. They have visually repetitive theming as they cycle between the
Delayed
same four
ass
level
homing
aesthetics,
attack
three
as
of
well.
which reuse assets from Sonic Generations for the dozenth time, and then half.
The one thing that I do kind of like about this game is the air boost, because it propels you upwards, kind of like the Sonic Forces one, but it's not so OP that it breaks the stages. I think the air boost in this game was actually pretty cool, but that's like the only thing about the controls, aside from the spin dash, that I actually enjoy. We need Amy X Sonic, we really don't. Please stop shipping characters that are minors. Why should I have high expectations over something dumb like Pop-In and stuff? Because if you don't have high expectations, what you're saying to the company is that it is okay for them to release unfinished games. Like, you defending a game that has Pop-In tells the video game company that it's okay to release games with Pop-In, and that's not okay. Games need to get better, they shouldn't stay the same.
And recycle exact level designs from Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Generations. I just think it's lame. With new control additions, I still think most recycled Cyberspace levels are poor man's versions of the original stages they borrowed from. And new ones
And again,
are also
it's like, when you compare it to other Sonic games that, like, from over 20 years ago that didn't have these issues, I think it makes it even worse.
forgettable and easy with a couple of exceptions. So like I said, the core gameplay loop of
Seriously, genuinely tell me why I should let graphical issues, like, ruin my enjoyment of a game. No one's saying you should let it remove your enjoyment of a game or ruin it, but the point is that Sonic Frontiers, in this regard, is objectively terrible compared to other games. Like, no one's saying that you should quit the game and refund it just because it has Pop-In, but what I'm saying is you should have the decency to criticize it. Because if you don't criticize it in Frontiers, who's to say that it won't be worse in Sonic Frontiers 2? You haven't criticized it, so what's stopping the game's company from not improving on it? Like, I don't really know what to say. Like, Like, I cannot believe you're dying on this hill so much. Like, you're looking at a game being objectively poorly made, like, with pop-in and stuff, and you're unironically defending it. Unbelievable. Like...
Exploring, fighting, and running through cyberspace levels are all things I don't really care for, which means the game can't win that many points with me. There are a number of open-world games I enjoy significantly more than this, a plethora of action games I like far more than Frontiers, and a boatload of Sonic games I also enjoy more than this too. I unfortunately just don't like this game. The presentation being a mess doesn't help either. The visuals in this game are far below the bar of modern games, reusing assets from PS3-era games. And so the game just feels like a PS3 or a 360 game, just minus the terrible performance. The PS5 can totally...
I think as well, that's another reason why I have such an issue with this, is because the actual open world is, like, not even that, like, creative. It's not even that, like, in-depth with detail. Like, let me just go back. Hold on.
Mess doesn't help either. The visuals in this game...
It's like... I think the pop-in for a world this fucking bland and basic and generic... If anything, I think that makes the graphical issues all the more, like, apparent. It's like, with a game like Spider-Man, or Arkham Knight, or something like that, or Sunset Overdrive, or, fucking, what's it called, Cyberpunk 2077, or even GTA 5, or something like that. With games like that, which have such massively detailed worlds, I'd expect pop-in in those games. I wouldn't expect pop-in from this. Like, this is... Jesus.
Yeah. Rift is reacting to JS.
Hey, Bonkai, how you doing, buddy? Thank you very much for the $5. Rift is reacting to Jay's review of Sonic Frontier video. I know, right?
The cyberspace stages could have used Starlight.
Yeah, I agree. Having Starlight Zone in the, cyberspace stages, that could have been awesome. Tell me you haven't researched Amy and Metal Sonic's character creation history without telling me. Oh yeah, my bad. I haven't studied every inch of these characters' dicks and their history. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'll just go delete my channel real quick. I'm just gonna go get a cup of tea. I'll be right back. Entertain yourselves. Just don't pleasure each other while I'm gone. Right, I have returned, humans. I hope you haven't, like, hit each other or started a war or anything like that. Right, let's get right back into it.
Are far below the bar of modern games, reusing assets from PS3 era games. And so the game just feels like a PS3 or a 360 game, just minus the terrible performance. The PS5 can totally do a next-gen Sonic game in terms of visuals and spectacle, but that isn't what we got. While you play it, it'll be utterly impossible to not notice geometry popping in.
Malik, I've seen your comment, dude. You don't need to keep messaging it. I'll have a look at it when I can.
You have a brick to
the pop-in didn't really bother me after the second island, but it's unacceptable how horrible and obvious it is. Yeah, it's like, after a while, you just kind of stop noticing it, but that doesn't excuse how bad it is. Hey, Mega Flareon, how you doing?
Face. This can sometimes affect gameplay since portions of the levels will load in as you come across it. I just think this game is unappealing on a visual note. The animation also...
Because another thing as well with, like, pop-in, and this is, like, the final thing regarding the topic, like, I think one thing that it does regarding your video game experience is it just breaks immersion. Like, completely. Like, I think it's very difficult to get immersed in a video game when you have shit like this happening. And it doesn't have to be pop-in issues either. It can be, like, audio issues, it can be, like, I don't know, notifications on the screen, it can be, like, other things. But it's like, I think pop-in issues are also just snap immersion within a video game. Like, it's very difficult to actually get, like, invested in something when you're constantly just like, oh shit, yeah.
Leaves a lot to be desired. Best example to look at are these boss fights. They're meant to be...
Also, contrary to what you said, I do watch your videos, but I don't get why you're using PS5 as an example to bring the pop-in Frontiers. Well, again, it's like, no one's saying you can't enjoy the game. But what I'm saying is that this game is on, like, current console hardware, and it's also on current PCs. It's like, we should have collectively moved past these issues. It's like, things like 30 FPS games should be buried in the past. Like, we should have moved on from that. And it's like, graphical pop-in, to this extent, is awful. Like, we shouldn't have this anymore. Like, we genuinely shouldn't.
The hypest parts of the game where Supersonic tackles these giant machines, but in practice, it's a mess because you just mash buttons.
It's like, it was bad in freaking Scarlet and Violet, and it's awful here as well.
Or just spam the stomp move and see the health bar drain. But then the animation just does not sell the moment. Sonic is not touching this laser. Sonic's not holding this sword he uses to finish off Knight. Sonic snaps between poses with no animation, and the list goes on. I've played Metal Gear Rising. The animations being so good is part of the spectacle, and this game lacks that. Then the cutscenes also have some of the stiffest animation in Sonic history. Characters stand and stare at each other with less life in their eyes than a Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic, and the game also has almost no action scenes to speak of, ones we get being really underwhelming because of the stiff animation. In my original video, I was told it was unfair.
I get that, we should still praise Frontiers for the good things it does instead of over-focusing on the pop-in. Well, no, you should focus on the bad and the good, and that's what I do. It's just that for me, at least, I can't think of many good things about Frontiers. Like, genuinely I can't. Like, there's not that many things that I think are, like, legitimately great about Frontiers. It's like, you should criticize the bad. Like, you should praise the good and criticize the bad.
To compare it to games like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac Games, but I still totally think Sonic could reach a bar this high if they wanted to. But I also brought up how Frontiers can't reach the bar of Jak and Daxter on PlayStation 2, and that was also apparently unfair. It is literally a game from over 20 years ago.
Is Space Pro Mason, is this the freaking, like, the guy who we keep banning? Because I swear down, he keeps saying Sonic games have a better story than Mario games. Like, is this the guy that, like, we keep banning? I don't know. I'm just gonna, like, keeping... You guys know who I mean, right? Like, that one guy who basically just rage baits. Like, we've banned, like, 6 of his accounts at this point.
Okay, but fine. Maybe that game had more resources put into it than Frontiers. That would be really sad, but maybe it's true. Then in that case, look at a game like Sly Cooper Thieves in Time.
Oh, Master M, yeah, that's the person I was thinking of.
And yet it runs circles around this game in graphics and animation and in art design. It's a cartoon. Animate the characters. Make them appealing to watch.
Like, I guess it kind of makes sense for Knuckles being stuck in cyberspace, but it's like, what excuse does Sonic have?
This game just doesn't...
I'm not saying to ignore the bad. There are bad things about Xenoblade, and it's still my favorite Xenoblade, but I think letting something like Pop-In ruin the entire game for you is stupid. You can enjoy the game flaws all while still criticizing it. Okay, so why aren't you criticizing it then? Why are you damage controlling when Sonic Frontiers does this? Like, earlier you were literally defending the Pop-In by saying it makes sense narratively. What you're doing, you're not criticizing the game, you're making excuses for it.
do it. It can't reach the cinematic heights of games like Sonic Lost.
Like, I don't know what to say, dude.
Forces. I just think it's a total downgrade in presentation quality. But through it all, the first 2 islands are okay enough to get through, but I just don't want to play anymore by the time I get to Chaos Island. As I said, this is the island where the game starts frequently locking you into 2D sections at seemingly random, and the whole island is separated by massive chasms that make you take the scenic route across.
You watch any of other Jay's videos? He makes pretty good videos. Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of Jay's reviews topics. I watched his Mania video, I watched his Shadow Gens, I think. I watched his Unleashed one, I watched his Adventure one. I think I watched his Sonic Omens one as well. The one where he looked at, like, Omens and Triple Trouble.
The blandest visuals in the game with cloudy skies and muddy brown textures on the ground. Also forcing you to play this really long pinball minigame to fight the boss fight at the end. By this point, I'm just getting bored of the game's routine. And then Rhea Island isn't a full level, instead being a series of tower climbs where bizarre glitches happened, in a game where weird shit still happened to me on the regular. And then
Why did they think 2D in an open zone was a good idea? Just no idea. I can't believe that even though Forces is a bad game, it had better cutscenes. Yeah. Literally. Like, I genuinely am struggling to think of a Sonic game that has worse cutscenes than Frontiers. Aside from, like, 06, obviously. And even then, it's like 06 sometimes had better cutscenes. Like, at the very least, 06, like, CGI cutscenes were really good. Maybe Adventure 1, I guess? Just because Adventure 1 just has, like, really fucking bad ones. Is it a cartoon? The community doesn't treat these characters as a cartoon. They think Sonic shouldn't be this strong because he has slim limbs. Never ever step foot in a versus debate with Sonic fanboys then. They argue that this motherfucker can beat Goku.
To Uranus Island where
And whether that's true or not, let's not go there. But he does have pretty spindly arms.
Both my first playthrough last year and now,
that's all I'm saying.
Just stopped by the Biggs fishing game and cashed in on my accumulated purple coins to get all the vault keys needed to get the emeralds immediately so I don't have to fight the tougher enemies to gain access to more cyberspace stages. The fact that there even is a system...
So it's like, the only reason I'd be willing to give Adventure 1's cutscenes a pass is because it was the first Sonic game to be in 3D. Like, at the very least it has that excuse. Again, doesn't excuse them being bad, but at the very least it had that excuse going for it. And that's something that Frontiers did not have.
To just bypass content like that is something you can debate being good or bad design, but I do put it to good use when I play through this game, so I guess I can't complain too much. All this gameplay serves a story that also doesn't land for
Adventure 1 has hilarious cutscenes. I mean, they have hilarious ones, but they're not good.
me. Mainly because I don't think the game tells much of a story at all. It certainly puts more emphasis on the story than any Sonic game has past Unleashed and Black Knight, but it mostly is just conversation after conversation about what might be going on.
And the thing that's really annoying about Frontiers is that some of the cutscenes like this one genuinely look good. Like, look at Sonic in this cutscene. Watch Sonic's movements.
Mostly is just conversation after conversation about what might be going on this island.
Like, they're genuinely good. A little underwhelming. Perhaps, because we're on the PS5 Series X and stuff. But they're good. Not great, but they are good. I just wished all of them were like that.
The game seemingly pats itself on the back for its ability to reference past games and or wink to the audience about how we know Tails was poorly written in Sonic Forces and how we promise he won't be like that in the next game. So therefore, I find the interactions between Sonic and his established cast of friends
But
to be
these
really
cutscenes
boring.
look terrible.
The only arc is for save.
The other ones look decent, though.
Eggman's new sidekick and daughter figure. But her arc can be boiled down to a couple of bullet points. On Kronos Island, she doesn't like Sonic and wants to kill him. On Ares Island, she does the same. On Chaos Island, she learns that Sonic has the true power of friendship and this can help.
That would take more time they didn't have. Yeah, and it's a shame as well. It's like, I think they should just get used to, like, delaying games. And, like, making the game feel better. Because it's like, at the end of the day, like, rushed game development is how we got Sonic 06.
The Doctor escapes cyberspace, and on Uranos Island, she's now working with Sonic as they all need to team up to stop the real villain. But that story is stretched across a 10-hour game, when I don't think there's 10 hours of story to tell. The part where she...
Yeah, it's like, I agree with Vinicast. It's like, yeah, I can give PS2 and PS1 games a pass when it comes to animation, like, on this quality. But it's like, these games, on this hardware in today's day and age, I just can't defend this.
An emotional flashback of her scenes with Eggman is also one of the most unintentionally funny parts of the game because it's just replaying scenes where absolutely nothing is happening but them standing in cyberspace to the tune of this weird-ass song.
Jesus.
I don't really buy it.
I would be okay with 90% of the criticisms of this game development if it wasn't pointed at Sonic Team, but it's always pointed at them like it's their fault when it's Sega's. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't really, from my perspective at least, it doesn't really matter who you pin the blame on, because at the end of the day, it doesn't change the game that we actually got. It is what it is. This song is good, I don't care what anyone says. I don't know, it's like...
to the Eggman of older games ever reaching this conclusion with one of his creations to begin with.
I prefer a delayed finish game than a rushed unfinished one. Well, yeah, exactly, it's like... Cyberpunk is like the perfect modern example. Where it's like Cyberpunk was basically like just unplayable on launch. And then through like many fixes and stuff, it's great. Maybe it's a little too late for it to be great, because people, like, the hype has kind of died down. But, you know, freaking CD Projekt Red did a decent job for once, and Cyberpunk 77 is now awesome.
I mean, this guy told Gamma that the other E-Series robots were his brothers in Sonic Adventure 1, and then made them fight each other and used the loser for scrap metal. Maybe he's changed, but the previous game was the one where he took over the world. The game just does not make any of it feel natural despite trying to tell a story in this one. It also builds up to things like Sonic getting cyber-corrupted only—
I don't know why you act like anyone who sees the pop-in as bad but doesn't let it ruin the whole game is damage controlling. Well, it's because you did damage control it earlier. You said, oh, the terrain popping in makes sense because of the story. You said that earlier, and by definition, that is damage controlling. Like... I don't know why you're this uptight about it. It's like, can we just all agree that the pop-in in this game is bad?
Resolve that with a magic friend circle in 2 seconds.
Like, it really isn't that deep. Like, can we just all agree that this specific part of the game is bad and just move on?
Zelda Breath of the Wild, where the main game takes place in a destroyed civilization and you gradually piece together what happened as the foes you face in the present were meant to stop a bigger bad guy that won in the end. Only, in Zelda, they make those flashbacks relevant to the character you're playing as and the people around him, and in this game...
I never understood why people compare Breath of the Wild to Sonic Frontiers. It's like, yeah, I suppose there are similarities in a way, but it's like, I feel like it's a bit of a reach.
I can't say any of it ever mattered to me because there isn't a reason to care. I just think this game has a boring story. One that bogs everything down with references, some that make sense and others that really don't, to distract from how little is going on. But I
don't think I'm gonna look at Breath of the Wild. It looks more alive. Yeah, true, and it was a Switch exclusive, which is crazy. I'm not even gonna talk about the references because that's a can of worms that Axiom will tear my head off about. But yeah. All I'll say is I think there were some references that were pretty awesome and others that weren't. I'll leave it at that.
These are all basically the things I said a year ago. What people really wanted to hear my thoughts on was the Final Horizon update, which released back in September. As I said earlier, I didn't play the various updates as they came out because content like an enemy rush mode or a new game...
People compare Breath of the Wild to Frontiers. I mean, Harmon Smith probably does. I think the only thing that they have in common, aside from, like, the open world, is the, like, stories. Like, they... Excuse me. Like, the stories kinda have similarities, but they still have differences.
And Plus mode didn't really entice me to play it, but the Final Horizon update promised some new story content, so it got fans pretty interested. You'll beat Rhea Island and be sent to Uranos Island and can walk into a portal and experience a completely new take on the ending because the original...
Let's be honest, this portal was 100% inspired by the films. Like, guaranteed it was inspired by the first two Sonic films.
finale got a lukewarm response. For both reasons I said already, and for ones I'll get into in a second. But in this new version of the ending, you'll play as Amy, Knuckles...
That's not a bad thing, by the way. Just an observation.
...and Tails trying to help Sonic gather the emeralds while he faces the trials required to learn new skills to fight the end.
I don't have a problem with someone not liking references as long as they represent them correctly. But it's like... I just think that it's really weird when, like, a character just, like, references something very obscure out of nowhere. Because it comes across as the character's just having dementia. Like... They just reference something completely obscure, and then just move on as if nothing happened. It just comes across as forced. Like, that's just how I view it anyways.
The reason I built up the reasons I don't like Frontier...
By that logic, I should like the field skills and other issues in Xenoblade 2 ruin the entire game for me when I hate them too. And then I'm just damage controlling Xenoblade 2, right? Well, no, because... What you're talking about is features within a game, like with like field skills and stuff. I'm talking about just general presentation and graphics. It's like a game being poorly made in regards to its features isn't the same as like the graphics being bad. Like, I kind of just think that's a false equivalency, to be honest. It's like if you were to say, like, oh, this game's perfect, therefore you can't hate the fact that it's locked at 30 FPS. It's like, well, no, the frame rate is completely independent to the game's content, because it's based around the graphical, like, presentation.
Here's fundamentally before talking about the Final Horizon...
And I'd also point out as well that I also have issues with Sonic Frontiers' skill tree. It's pretty funny that you bring up a Xenoblade skill tree, because I have issues with Frontiers as well.
Unfortunately, it all still applies. As Tails, Amy, and Knuckles, you explore the areas having to unlock new moves in the skill tree while platforming on geometry that feels completely out of place that pops in like crazy while
Frontiers is not hated enough. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like... If people like Frontiers, that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, like what you want. It's not for me. It is what it is. It's like, I think that Frontiers is very poorly designed. I think it's possible to enjoy it. I mean, there are people who enjoy eating shit. So, yeah, it's probably possible to enjoy literally anything on planet Earth. But this game just left me disappointed. But I am very excited to mod it and see if modding the game can redeem it for me.
Sonic, you do more combat in cyberspace.
Assuming that the mods work this time. They didn't work last time, and it was very disappointing.
And I don't enjoy playing it. It's more Sonic Frontiers, and if you enjoy the base game, you're gonna enjoy the new update, but I fundamentally don't like Sonic Frontiers, and therefore I don't find this fun to play. One could say, yeah, but you're playing as these characters for the first time in a 3D game in well over a decade. Sure, that is true. But the issues I have with games like Forces or Frontiers aren't the lack of playable characters, it's more fundamental design concerns. So therefore, I'm not that excited about the prospect of playing as different characters in a game I don't really like.
I'm not saying Frontiers is perfect, I'm saying the graphical issues shouldn't be enough to hate the entire game. Well, it depends on how bad it is. Like, for Frontiers, I don't think the graphical pop-in is like... It doesn't make the game unplayable. Not at all. But it does depend on how bad it is. It's like, I think with Frontiers, it's just bad enough for it to be constantly annoying. Like, that's kind of how I view the pop-in this game. Like, It's not like, it doesn't break the game, it doesn't make the game unbeatable, it's just a constant annoyance. It's like, I think if the game was locked to 30 FPS, I think that I would complain about. I mean, I hate the fact that the game is locked to 60 FPS. Would have been cool playing it at 120, but, you know, it is what it is.
That much. The DLC also just does things I find completely unnecessary that drag the entire thing down. Like how the final challenge before—
And the thing that's really unfortunate about Frontiers is that I honestly wouldn't need to change many things. Like, lower the amount of memory tokens, make it so that Sonic's combat is way better, and make it so that he controls better in cyberspace levels. That's basically all you'd need to change for me to, like, instantly like the game a lot better. Like, it wouldn't completely fix all of the issues I have with Frontiers, but at the very least, I'd actually want to, like, replay it. We need a game like Project 06. Agreed. Do you find Frontiers enjoyable? In its current state, no, not really. I think the game is just very repetitive, and I don't really enjoy the game's content. I think the game's like, I think Frontiers is a decent game, but I have to take constant breaks in order to enjoy it. Like, with a game like Unleashed, or Colors, or Generations, I could easily beat the game in one sitting and be happy the entire way through. Like, obviously, yeah, there's like a couple of moments in each game that I'm not so keen on, but it's like, I'd be able to do that. With Frontiers, aside from the fact that the game is very long for a Sonic game, but it's like, I genuinely wouldn't be able to beat Kronos and Ares Island in one sitting. I'd just get bored. That's just me personally.
For the new final battle is a boss rush. Literally my least favorite trope in video games. Needlessly repeated content to pad the runtime. Only this is the most agonizing boss rush I've—
What I'm getting at is that you're not understanding is some people do not like pop-in, ruin games for them, however bad it is, people can still enjoy the games. Well, again, it's like, people have their preferences. It's like, I don't think it's unrealistic for people to expect better. Like, I feel like graphical pop-in, like, to this extent, is something that we should have left in the past. Like, people have got better and better at making video games, the technology is better than ever. In theory, at least, there should be more money than ever going into these games. Like, I feel like there are some things that we should have just left in the past. Examples being black and white gaming, unless it's, like, intentionally made to be black and white. Another example is 30 FPS. We should leave that in the past. And graphical pop-in on this level should be left in the past as well. Unless it's like a beta, and it's like the unfinished version of the finished game, I think that would be fine. Like, if Sonic Frontiers looked this shit with the pop-in, but it was like the alpha version, totally fine. As long as they were to fix it when the game eventually releases. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I'm hoping that the next game does. And to be fair, I'm fairly certain that Shadow Generations, like, basically fixed this. I didn't like Shadow Generations much, but they did fix the graphical pop-in. Like, Shadow Generations is like, I think it's second only to Unleashed as being the best looking Sonic game of all time. Like, Shadow Generations is damn near a masterpiece when it comes to graphics. Especially in some of the cutscenes. Frontiers was just the exception, unfortunately.
Seen, and yes, that includes Mega Man X7. You have to fight Giganto, Wyvern, and Knight.
I hope that
only with
Frontiers
400
2
rings
does
that cannot
better.
Be refilled. Wyvern is a boss where you spend most of it chasing after the thing, not getting to attack, so it's here where I lost a lot of rings, which doesn't—
Like, imagine like Wyvern, but it's like a giant whale, and it's under the water. That would be cool. Unleashed Recompiled might be the best looking Sonic game. I was more so referring to, like, officially made games. Like, yeah, I think Unleashed Recompiled is better, but I think that, like, Shadow Generations is better than OG Unleashed. That's what I meant.
Give you much time to beat Knight. When you lose, you go back to Giganto, and along the way, you need to replay...
If Frontiers added better graphics, cleaner performance, fixed the world-generated objects there's no popping, made all the characters much faster, and improved the animations in the game, it would make the game much better. I agree. Make a few tweaks to the combat, and honestly, I'd enjoy the game a lot more.
This wyvern chase that lasts over 2 minutes, where you just run forward on a quick-step path.
Frontiers is the most visually boring Sonic game. It's one of the more boring games, like, recently. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The night this came out,
excuse me. Not gonna lie, you'd look better if you grew out your hair a little bit. Alright, so I have someone in chat who has a crush on me. Yeah, the next time you see me, I'm gonna have fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi's mullet.
People struggle with this for over an hour, and I couldn't believe...
Would I actually suit long hair? I'm just kind of like looking at myself. I don't think I would suit long hair. I barely even suit sideburns. Like, my sideburns are a fucking mess. I also need to shave, because I'm looking very much like fucking Wolverine right now. Fucking hair's a mess as well. Oh dear. Nah, I am liking male beauty. Okay. So you are homosexual. There's nothing wrong with that.
The game would include such an obvious pace killer. But then they redid the final boss, too. In the original...
I do... Okay, say what you like about Supreme. I actually quite like this visual, where it's like the bullets shoot outwards and then lock on Sonic.
And they redid the final...
That's actually a really cool visual for Supreme.
Boss, too. In the original version of the game, you battle a Titan called Supreme on Arano...
Let's just ignore the fact that the Titan is stood there like a lemon. But...
Island, and if you...
Frontiers is overhated. I mean... To be fair, Frontiers doesn't get that much hate. Like, I feel like 70% of the people probably, like, love Frontiers. Or like it. I feel like it's only 30% that think it's either mid or bad. Unfortunately, I am in that 30%. I just think the game is, like, kinda mid. Like, it's not, like, a complete fucking disaster. But, like, I think Some Called Me Johnny summed it up best. This game doesn't leave me wanting more, it leaves me wondering where's the rest of it. That's how I feel regarding Sonic Frontiers. It doesn't make me look forward to Sonic Frontiers 2, it just makes me, like, want, like, Sonic Frontiers to be, like, fixed.
Played on normal or easy mode, this is the final boss. But you could only play the true final boss on hard mode. The true final...
You'd have to be gay to appreciate a man's beauty. Yeah, Sonic probably said that, let's be honest.
The final battle against the end was this Ikaruga shooting minigame, and
Speaking of crushes, my Discord brother thinks I need to call my crush again and tell him I have a crush on him. I need to get back into my depth. I didn't even realise you had a crush on someone, that's amazing. Shadow 05 is better than Sonic Frontiers. Puffer, I believe you have a human to ban.
I thought it was one of the most out of...
Yeah, Puffer is currently 100%ing Unleashed recompiled. Just don't mind Puffer.
Field Sonic final bosses ever. Since you barely used this mechanic before, and now it's the basis of a...
Casuals enjoy Frontiers due to how fun the boss fights are and core gameplay is. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. It's like, I also think that Frontiers, with the exception of Final Horizons, isn't really a difficult Sonic game. Like, as far as Sonic games go, I'd probably say Frontiers is one of the easier ones. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But it is an observation. I think we can all agree that it's better than Forces and Lost World. Yeah, I think those games do things better than Frontiers, but I think Frontiers is overall better.
Bullet hell final boss where you can only take 2 hits before having to do it again.
I feel like this is the only part of the base game that I legit struggled with. And that's only because I'm a freaking moron, and there's just way too much shit on screen for me to see, because my freaking brain just can't operate. Aside from that, it was mostly just the pinball minigame on Chaos Island, because I just hate pinball.
So because that was poorly received...
Like, look at this shit. Look at that. That's insane. I'm guessing I was just crap at it, but it is what it is. Platforming in Final Horizons is the best in the series. Ooh, that is a hot take, my friend. Frontiers is better than Spider-Man PS4. If you're talking about the PS4 version, then maybe, but I think that, I think Spider-Man Remastered is better than Frontiers. Like, Spider-Man Remastered is, like, probably in my top 10 favorite video games of all time.
We have a new final boss.
Yeah, like, literally who's beating
First,
that?
you fight Supreme exactly as it was before. The easiest Titan in the game by far, but also one of the worst designed too. Last year I complained that I got stuck here because of a part where you stopped doing damage.
I actually agree with that take. I played Spider-Man PS4, I like Frontiers better. I mean, you are kind of comparing apples to oranges, because, like, they are very different games. It's like, the only thing they have in common is, the open world. And even then, it's like, they both have, like, their own gameplay loops. So it is what it is. I could totally understand if you prefer one to the other, but I just think it's a bit of an odd comparison, personally. I'll forever be known as a game motherfucker because of Gaming Rift. Lol. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Damage.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're homosexual or heterosexual or Homo sapien. It doesn't matter to me. I won't judge you.
We're quick to point out that this was because I was a level 19 in combat. But that actually isn't what I was talking about. I literally meant that I had no idea what was going on when I wasn't able to do damage, ran out of rings, and respawned with only 100 rings.
At the end of the day, my single ass is in no position to take the piss out of other people for dating people.
And still didn't know why that was happening and kept dying. The answer is that when he stops taking damage, you have to destroy one of his prisms, and then you can resume the beatdown. What an idiot I am for my...
I think the Final Horizons towers are some of the best platforming in a Sonic game. It's interesting that you say that, because I think that Raya Island towers are actually really good as well. Like, I think the towers in Raya Island were sick, and I would have wanted those towers on literally every island. Like, maybe like 3 towers on every island, and it's like, it's very challenging platforming, but you get rewarded for climbing to the top. And to be fair, there was something similar to that in the game already, with like the hidden Coco, where it's like you have to like do some really hard platforming, but you get like a really rewarding thing. I think that would have been cool, just to have like more of them. Kinda like, I'm not, I am straight.
Inability to predict that. But after Supreme, you get a new battle.
I have a crush on women, just not modern women, because freaking modern women are just no.
The end, where it commands the Supreme mech, and Sonic gets a flashy new transformation, and I honestly think I'd take the Ikaruga battle over the new one.
Ooh. I don't know, I'm just gonna let chat digest that information. He prefers the Bullet Hell final boss over the Supersonic 2 final boss. Ugh. Now, I don't know what I feel about that. It's certainly an interesting one. Imagine if there was a DLC where he plays Goku in Frontiers. That would be amazing. There's probably a mod for that, now that I think about it. What's better, Spider-Man 2 or Arkham City? That is a tough one. Arkham City is such a well-designed game. I like Spider-Man 2. I don't know, that's a hard one. That is really tough. Annoyingly, I'm probably leaning towards Arkham City. Nah, Spider-Man 2. I think Arkham City's great, but I think I prefer Origins a little more.
At least it was simpler and was kind of epic with the voiceover
Origins is underrated. That's all I'm gonna say.
from the end and the sick music. But this was everything I didn't like about Supreme multiplied, and when you die you have to fight Supreme again, I might add. The new final boss with the end will continuously regain its health bar and you won't know why. I've watched 4 people play this and be stuck for over half an hour not knowing what you're supposed to do.
I'm just gonna say as well, I think that this was a pretty lame final boss. Like, not necessarily because of gameplay or anything, but I just think it's pretty lazy, like, basically having a round 2 against, like, the Supreme Titan. I think it would have been cooler if, like, chat, have you seen, like, concept art for the end's true form? Like, what the end might look like? I think it would have been cooler if, like, we had kind of like a Titan battle in terms of how it played out, but in space and you were fighting the end's true form. I do think that would have been cooler, to be honest. Like, But anyway.
do. The boss giving you a plethora of attacks like Psy looping and
One thing that I will glaze until the day I die, though, is these cutscenes.
actually cutscene move,
Like-
but none of it does anything. There's a near endless
Like, my man is farming aura right there.
amount of attacks from both the player and the end, and all of it is moot because all you need to do is just switch targets mid-combo, target the cord controlling the mech, and once it's destroyed, you'll tear the boss.
I like women who are nice. Yeah, that's true. It's just finding nice women that's a bit of a challenge.
apart in under 90 seconds. It was just so poorly conveyed that it boggled the mind. Alongside huge issues like trees blocking your
Sonic Origins versus Arkham Origins. Yeah, Arkham Origins. I like Sonic Origins. I think it gets a bit too much hate, but Arkham Origins is one of my favorite superhero games.
view of the action. But hey, I did really like the I'm Here remix for the new final boss. That was pretty dope. But then they also retconned the ending of the game. Before, Sage...
I still think it would be really cool if Sonic Frontiers 2 adapts my idea for a final boss. Like, I genuinely think that would be awesome if they adapted my idea. Where, like, you basically, Oh, fuck, what was the idea now? Damn. I had a really good idea and I've just forgotten it. Oh, no, I remember now. So, I think it would have been really cool if, like... If you were fighting, like... the End's true form in space, but Sage and Eggman were piloting a Titan that was being powered by Cyber Supersonic. Like, he was the power source. I think that would be sick, personally. I don't think we're gonna get it, though.
Sacrificed herself to destroy the End while she was piloting Supreme, and Eggman is seen in the post-credit scene bringing her AI back to life.
Why do they keep saying retcon? Flynn says both endings are canon. But it's like, how are both endings canon? Like, how can both endings be canon? That doesn't really make sense to me. Because it's like, the only way for both endings to be canon is if Final Horizons came first. But that literally can't be possible. Like, I genuinely don't understand how both endings can be canon. Like, I don't know.
But I guess because they didn't want to have to spend time in another game explaining her coming back to life at all, they just changed it to where that never happened to begin with. I feel like the original ending, for Sage at least, makes more sense. Her doing something for the greater good seems like a more satisfactory ending than nothing at all, to where I feel like Eggman and Sage don't really contribute much to the plot as it stands.
What do you think about Sonic Lost World? I think Lost World was a pretty... considering it was a Super Mario Brothers clone, I think it wasn't very good. But I do really like the first two worlds, at least. Like, the first two laws were the first two worlds were really cool. But it just goes downhill from there, unfortunately.
Now, but I guess this is the new canon ending of the story, I think, but only time will tell on that. But really,
To explain further, Ian Flynn is saying whatever ending you liked more is canon. Okay, so he basically just said, we don't know which ending is canon, make it up. Okay.
that's all I've got to say on this game. As has been evidenced by the last 20 or so minutes, I just don't...
Sega confirmed that the DLC ending is canon, Ian Flynn lied. Ah. Well, yeah, it's like Sage and Eggman don't really do much in the story now then.
like Sonic Frontiers.
And if I'm being completely honest, I do like the idea that Final Horizons is canon. Mainly because Super Sonic 2 and stuff is canon. But unfortunately, yeah, like Sage just doesn't really do much now. It's annoying.
This wasn't a
Yeah,
project
take care, Elites. Good to have you here as always.
I relished the idea of making, because at this point, since my opinion on the game is basically identical to what it was before, arguably worse in some areas, I just felt like I was picking on the game that a lot of people seem to really like. But I thought it was something worth doing nonetheless, because a lot of people really wanted to know where I stood with Sonic Frontiers a year later, and now everyone knows. I don't
Really good music,
really
Frontiers.
have much else to add on it, since I don't find this to be an appealing game at its core. To everyone who hopes...
Like, imagine if the cutscenes look like this. Like, this looks great. I like that a lot. Like, man. Like, I'm not asking for every cutscene to be like this. It would be awesome if they were. But, like, imagine if there were just, like, before and after every Titan fight, you got a cutscene like this. Like, this quality is awesome. Like, this is great.
And or expected that things would be different now, I'm really sorry. This game isn't for me. What I often hear described as a major leap forward for Sonic is a game I think is far behind a plethora of other contemporary and older games that I think are way better. It just...
Super Sonic 2, I just call it Superior Sonic. Nice touch.
Kind of gets to the point where I wonder how much of a place I really have in the discourse surrounding Sonic these days. Because I've said my piece. Sonic Generations was the last officially released Sonic game that I thought was a fantastic game, and that was 12 years ago. In the time since, Sonic Mania is the only Sonic game I thought was anything more than decent at best, and while that was a nearly perfect game in terms of how...
They could make a cutscene better than the Unleashed one, but they choose not to and use the budget for marketing. I mean, fair enough, yeah, you're probably not wrong, but also I just don't think that they're spending... I just don't think they give Sonic Team enough resources. Which, to be fair, that did happen for Frontiers. It's like... wasn't there like an article that came out where it's like they genuinely didn't expect Frontiers to sell as well as it did? And now, like, that convinced Sega to, like, put more resources into the next Sonic game? Like... I genuinely hope that, like, it's so annoying. It's like, because Sonic, like, long before I was born, had, like, good video games. Like, back in the 90s, I think that, like, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, they were probably some of the best video games ever made. Like, in the 90s, specifically. And here we are now. It's like... I just think it's a shame that, like, one of the most, like, influential, iconic video game characters of all time, like, they basically just sabotage his game development. It's such a shame.
Made. It just never...
And it begs the question, like, imagine if 06 was goated. I wonder what direction the series would have been in, like, now. We might not have got Sonic Unleashed, which would have been very sad, but it's like, I feel like the series would have just been really freaking good. And it would potentially be a competitor for Mario in terms of the games. It's such a shame. Like, it's honestly sad. Like, and that's like one of the reasons why I was like, for a while, I just quit the Sonic franchise. Like, in the late 2010s. It's because I was like, it just felt so sad to see something I liked so much just get beaten over and over again. It was genuinely sad. Like... I don't know. What's your favourite Sonic clone? I don't really know, to be honest. That's a tough one. I think I have a DLC for Racing Crossworlds. Make a run mode where all the characters run on foot. Could you imagine seeing Eggman do that? Mate, I would gladly pay $80 to see fucking Eggman just running on a racetrack. That'd be awesome. Sega likes to treat their devs like trash. It's one of the reasons 06 failed. Yeah, it's such a shame. On the 15th anniversary as well.
It did much for me as I've gone into before. For me, Sonic is still something I follow because of fan works like Project 06 or Triple Trouble 16-bit, and I'd like to keep talking about those kinds of games. Those games...
Yeah, it's like, it's to a point where it's like, I think it's awesome that the fan games of Sonic are as good as they are. Like, because at the very least, it's like, even if like an officially released Sonic game isn't to your liking, it's like, you've always got the fan games to fall back on. And some of the fan games, I think, are legitimately better than, like, the Sonic Team ones. Like, Adventure 2 Redux, for example. Project 06. Sonic GT. Sonic Venture. You know, like, some of these get technically Sonic Mania. That was made by fans as well. It's like... It's so annoying, man.
other fan works show me how much fun I can still have with this franchise when the official games just leave me feeling very little. If people want to keep hearing my thoughts on the official games, I can keep giving them, but I'm also not one to enjoy being a party pooper. So I imagine the amount of videos I have on this subject will probably decrease. But that is also a matter where only time will tell. In the meantime, I want to focus my attention on things I do really enjoy talking about, whether it be positive or negative in the coming
It's like,
months.
this trailer as well for Frontiers, I was so hyped for. Like, I love this trailer. In fact, you know what? We're gonna watch that trailer. We're gonna watch it together. Like, that trailer was so hype. Like, I wanted the entire game to be like that, in terms of how good the trailer looked. Let's watch it together. Like, this is the trailer that got everyone hyped for Frontiers. Like, already, like, it's just night and day compared to the cutscenes in the game.
Find the chaos.
Oh, Roblox as well. Fan games on Roblox. Roblox has some pretty decent Sonic games.
Summons.
Literally. I should have that as my wallpaper. Like, look at that. That is nice. Like,
Tear down the walls between dimensions.
Jalen, please don't use gay as an insult. And at the very least, any animations in the trailer that looked choppy, at the very least, we didn't know that they were going to be in the main game. But it's like, this looked cool. Like, this is incredible.
Destroy the cartels.
Like, why were the cutscenes not like this? They would have surpassed Unleashed. Most of the Unleashed cutscenes, anyways. Like, the cutscenes looked incredible in this trailer. And in the actual game, they looked so bland. Like, this should have been in the game. Look at that! You motherfucker, the shit-eating grin. I freaking love that pose for Sonic. Fucking Phantom. And again, like, even Sage just looks so good. Like, this trailer, like... Imagine if freaking Giganto opened with this. Mate, those cutscenes should have been in the game. Like, I cannot get over just how beautiful this looks. I would watch an entire film with this art style.
Destroy the cartels.
It's so annoying that this wasn't in the game. Like, man. It's so depressing. Like, if you want a Sonic Roblox game, I recommend trying out Sonic Ultimate RPG. That sounds awesome, dude.
You are the key.
Even the sound design. I think a mod made the game look very similar to the CGI animations. I hope so. I am downloading that mod like that, if that is the case. Like, seeing Sonic do this, like, this was so awesome. Hold on. It's just... there is nothing wrong about it. Hold on. Like, just pick at random. It just looks so good. Especially within the context that this was the first time that Super Sonic had been in a game since, like, Sonic Generations. Because it's like, in Mania, he was technically there, but that was a classic game. And in Forces, he wasn't part of the story. So technically, this was the first time that we had seen Super Sonic in the game, in, like, a story, in over 10 years. And my god, he looked beautiful. Mate, it's so sad.
Rift, have you seen the new animations for the game Sonic Team released a couple weeks ago?
Have you seen the new animations for the game Sonic Team released a new... No, I actually haven't. What is that? What is that? We'll watch that together. New game. Where is it? Yeah, what's the, thank you for the $5, by the way. What was the, what was the, game that they leaked? Tell me all about it. We can watch it together. Not new game, but new animations. Yeah, what are you on about? I'll just Google it. I'll just search it. Look up Sonic new animations, you may see it first. Again though, like, I don't know what video I'm clicking on. Like, you guys need to, you watch Cooking with Fred? Yeah, of course I do. Cooking with Fred's freaking legend. New animation prototype. Oh, this one, okay.
Hello, we got some new Sonic stuff.
Let's have a cheeky little look at this one. I'm guessing it's this one.
So, I'm going to talk about it right now. Autodesk, the company that created...
The next level of 3D Sonic animation. This one?
Yo, call me a 3D model the way.
Oh, bloody hell, we're not watching all of this. Okay, we'll watch this
Hello,
one and see
we got
if there's
some
anything
new
here. Hold on.
stuff, so I'm going to talk about it right now. Autodesk, the company that creates Maya, the industry-usual animation software, did an interview with none other than Sonic Team, just asking them stuff about, hey, how did you guys use Maya for Sonic X Shadow Generations? With an interview titled Sega's Sonic X Shadow Generations, creating eye-catching character movements and event effects with Maya. And it shows a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff on how Shadow the Hedgehog was animated, like a behind-the-scenes look at his facial animation.
That's amazing.
Looks
What was the first Sonic game you ever played? Hey, turn me Horse City, it's okay, don't worry. Yeah, what was everyone's first Sonic game? For me, it was either Heroes or Sonic Unleashed. Those were my first Sonic games.
really weird, but is really cool to see. They even show some videos of Shadow the Hedgehog's model, which was actually...
So is this why... Shadow Generations looks so good? Because they literally used a different, like, software.
To be his model taken from Sonic Frontiers, and we can take a look at all of the stuff that they've changed, like how it says the scale and mobility of the limbs and elbows have been improved, allowing for more impactful and exaggerated expressions when punching. Which, yeah, that's his thing. Shadow the Hedgehog does indeed do that. He does punch. And overall, the whole interview...
Oh, really?
Really interesting, which I do have it linked down below in the description if you want to read it. It's in Japanese, but Google can translate it pretty well. It shows us a lot of interesting behind-the-scenes stuff for Sonic X. Sonic is much...
Alright, so this is the video that we'll just gloss over it. Hold on. I think it was this one. Hold on. Your first true Sonic game was Forces. Bruh, we need to baptize you. Yeah, like Shadow Generation animations. New future Sonic animations.
Let's talk about the new and exciting, crazy shit over here. So, beyond the remaster, advanced development of a deformation technology. So, in order to promote modernization of Sonic Generation Remaster, or one example of this deformation expression that does not depend on votes. So let's check this out. Oh my fucking god, bro.
Wow, this is...
Look at Sonic with big jumps into wall tricks.
It looks pretty nice, but I don't really like how he squashes every now and then. It does look a little odd. Let's watch it again.
Never seen before. One example of this deformation expression that does not depend on votes. So let's check this out. Oh my fucking god, bro.
It does look really nice. I just don't really like how he's stretching.
Look at Sonic with big jumps into wall tricks. Oh my god, bro. Look at this shit, my man.
Oh, I like that. I like the jump animation where he like literally isn't like a perfect circle, and you can see like let's see if I can pause on the moment.
Oh my god, bro. Look.
Yeah, like I love the fact that you can not only see evidence of his body, but you can also see like where his shoes are and like where his gloves are with the white and the blue. That looks awesome. I think that is the best Sonic jump animation I've ever seen in my life, personally. Like, that looks so cool.
Get this shit, my man got...
And then he lays on the ground and kickflips that into a superhero landing.
Oh! Oh my god.
That looks... Oh, and to finish it off, you can clearly see Sonic Frontiers in there. He just looks so good.
And hold on, okay, I got a lot to say about this animation.
That's Sonic Advance Freeze jump. Is it? Maybe I'll play the advanced games then. That looked really nice though.
Oh my god, bro. Look at this shit, my man got... Oh!
Like, he really just looks like he's having fun. That's with Unreal Engine 5, they're using it for future games. Mate, if Frontiers 2 looks like this, take my money.
Oh my god, hold on, okay, I got a
like, man, what an upgrade that would be.
Lot to say about this animation over here. So
that looks so nice, genuinely. Like, man, it genuinely looks great. Right, let's take a look at, this is the Generations cutscene, but remade.
Oh, I'm excited for this. So this is an experiment where deformation was added to the cutscene from Sonic Gens. Oh shit! This is the Sonic Gens ported to UE5. Oh shit!
So this is what Sonic X Shadow Generations should have been, I'm guessing. This was an experiment where deformation was added to a cutscene created previously for Sonic Generations and ported to Unreal Engine 5. The movements became rhythmic, and emotions such as surprise could be expressed using the whole body. The animation for this scene was created in Motion Builder, so TA also created a Motion Builder version of the deformation shader.
Oh man.
Okay, well the blur effect I don't like, but I feel... okay, so they... Gotcha. They were showing both side by side, that's why it looked shit.
Yeah, bro, this is with the deformation off, right? Hold on, and then this is with it on over here. Yeah, look how like much more pushy is. God, this is so cool, dude. I can't wait for the next mainline game, bro. I really can't wait to see what they're doing.
It looks so nice.
Really pulling through. God, this looks so good.
It feels so nice to not hate something. Like I've literally been hating on like Frontiers all evening. It feels so nice to not hate something. Like it's amazing. Is this what it feels like to be happy?
Unreal 5, man. Even like
Frontiers gave them the money to do this, by the way, I'm just saying. They better freaking deliver. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look at this, bro. Look how... Dude,
look at that, the anime. Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Night of the Werehog. That's what that, like, the way that he, like, turned his head. It reminds me of that.
He looks like Martis.
And that is a compliment, because that still looks great. Chat, do you guys want to watch Night of the Werehog, like, after this?
Sonic almost, dude.
Not all of it, but we'll watch some of it.
How much he's emotive here, dude. An emotion surprise could be...
Because it's like, I'd be perfectly happy if they based cutscenes off of Night of the Werehog. Because even though it came out like over 15 years ago at this point, it still looks great.
Stress using the whole body. The animation for the scenes were created in motion builder. So the TA created a motion builder version for the deform.
Also, chat, hear me out. Imagine if the storybook games had these cutscenes. Not the PowerPoint presentation cutscenes that they normally do. Imagine if they had these cutscenes.
Animation shader. Wow, man. Dude, look at that. It's showing like how it looks a bit more rigid versus the...
Can you make a video reviewing Frontiers yourself? I mean, technically I already have. Like, I've made quite a few live streams talking about it. I made the how I would fix Sonic Frontiers video, which basically went over like all of the issues I have. It's like, a lot of the issues that I have with Frontiers are very similar to what Jay's reviews had. So it's like, my video would basically just be a repeat of his, unfortunately. So it's like, if you want to know what my thoughts of the game are, just like, look at Jay's reviews video. Because it's like, his opinion is so similar to mine, when it comes to Frontiers, at least.
Blue being like more expressive and cartoony. I love that, dude, because look at that. Yeah, look what it on.
It just looks so nice. It like, that specific shot, I know it's hard to tell because of the green as well. That specific shot reminds me of how Sonic looks in Shadow Generations.
And how much...
Like, the shade of blue and also the animation. Weirdly, it also reminds me of, you know that cutscene at the end of Sonic 06 where it's just Sonic and Elise with like the candle of Solaris? Weirdly, it reminds me of that, but with like his current model.
It's more like bouncy the cutscene is. Yes, 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 yes. 1,000 times yes. This is exactly what I'm on, bro. This is exactly what I'm on. What I'm excited for, bro. I love this and keep. It
looks so nice, genuinely. It genuinely looks good. Like, again, it feels nice to be happy. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll have a cheek. It's kind of crazy that this got a sequel as well. Like, it literally got a sequel like recently. Well, I say recently, fucking few years ago now. I love Frontiers. It's so annoying because it's like Frontiers could have been so good to me. I just no. There's one more rift. Oh wait, there was one more in that video.
Blue being like
more. Let's we'll finish that off. Where was it? No, we've watched that one. I think it's the Shadow one, isn't it?
Guys, pay attention to the way his.
Oh, hold on. We'll just go back to the start.
Oh, okay. This is Shadow beating up the enemies over here. Shadow activates his Doom Bars. Pay attention to the way his wings flutter. The shader can be used to express high speed flying action that leaves after images more dynamically. Okay, so this is with the deformation off, and this with oh yeah, you're right. Like the wings look like they're like crazily coming in more with that deformation. Okay, so the deformation thing is like they're big.
I mean, to be fair, like the to be fair though, like I kind of let's watch the Unleashed shorts. Okay, sure. We're not really talking about Frontiers anymore. We're now just talking about, like, other stuff. Like, again, this looks nice all these years later. Like, this looks great. It looks so nice. Like, the only slight complaint I have is, like, the lack of texture of Sonic's fur. Like, it's very flat. Possibly showing its age in that regard, but everything else is perfection. Like, this shit is just Kung Fu Panda. Wasn't there a scene exactly like this in Kung Fu Panda where they fought over the fucking dumpling with the chopsticks? Like, you guarantee that one ripped off the other. Even, like, the strands of saliva as well. Fucking Sonic, the absolute asshole. He's just laughing at him. How the hell did he even get stuck in there? So it's like, I think the food fight was the best one. But it's like, even the Alaska one, it's really nice, like, the blue tinge to the characters. Because of, like, a reflection of the snow. The attention to detail was amazing. Like, Sonic looks too blue. Like, even, like, his gloves and everything. It's like his shoes look pink because of, like, the blue tinge on everything. Like, the attention to detail was brilliant. It's like, he doesn't even look red anymore. He just looks, like, very desaturated. I'm not even a freaking art professor, and it feels like I am, just, like, analyzing everything. The one thing that I do like, though, is that Sonic's eyes are still a very, very vibrant green. It's like, even his nose, it's like, it's not one flat colour. Like, you can see, like, the light from the sun on the edge of his nose. Love the fact that the chocolate bar is frozen. What I don't like, however, is the fact that the wrapper is missing. Like, mate, that is a crime. He took the chocolate bar out of the wrapper and then shoved it up his ass. Like, that is a crime. Bro, Sonic, can we just appreciate how good Sonic is at catching things? Whether it's chili dogs or chocolate bars, like, this man just has, like, a talent for catching food. I also love the fact that the chocolate bar is tiny, even though Sonic himself is also tiny compared to humans.
Oh.
Bro, you know that the chocolate bar is frozen when not even Sonic can break it. And again, like, Adabat with the tropical sun. Every single, like, facing the sun. Everywhere is dark on this side and glowing on the right. Look at this man! It looks so beautiful, this scene. I'm sorry, but that is just a skill issue. Like, how the hell did you get your face stuck in there? Oh, confirmed. Sonic. Maybe those people that said Sonic is city level, maybe Venom and Cinnamon had a point. He just got the shit kicked out of him by coconuts. Fucking Sonic's cheeky grin. Like, mate, there's just something so satisfying just seeing Sonic so happy. Also, mate, this fat fuck just drinking all of these coconuts. Like, mate, what are you doing? Right, let's take a look at Night of the Werehog, because I feel like I'm gonna overanalyze literally every bit of that. Hold on. We'll do the transformation bit. We'll start from there. Here, I think. Because, like, the first half I don't think is that good, because it's basically just a build-up. What is the point of all of this? It is amazing. It is least analytical Sonic fan. I know, right? I'm not like those YouTube videos where they're like, well, actually, I watched something in 0.25 speed and I noticed that there was a message from Satan himself in this Sonic video game. Oh, fucking hell. The shot. Where do I even begin? Like, the freaking, like, the light outside reflective of the moon. Like the moon casting light on the fog to make the fog illuminate. Everything from the detail on the wood to Sonic himself. You can see details in the gloves. Even the knights. Hold on. Even the knights have like pretty impressive detail. Like you can count like the rivets on the armor as well as just like the shadows and the reflections. And again, it's like the fucking contrast in animations. Oh, the activate windows thing has popped up. That's the one blemish on this otherwise perfect scene. Also, again, just a really nice design. It's also very refreshing seeing Sonic legit terrified. Like, he's scared of the Werehog transformation. And it kind of begs the question, it's like, I wonder if the Werehog transformation hurts. Because it's like, it hurts him in the start of the games, but then once he gets to, like, Adabat, for example, and they're like, and he's talking to Chip, and he just transforms, he seems almost calm. As if he's, like, accepted it's gonna happen. And there's, like, a moment of discomfort, but for the most part, he's, like, chill when he transforms. It's like, I wonder how early on in Sonic Unleashed, obviously these aren't canon, but say for the sake of argument they were canon, when do you think that this took place in Unleashed? Like, they look good. Again, the detail on the floor, the light, everything, even like the bits of the building on the outside. He's not scared, he's struggling to stay composed. I mean, he could be scared of the inevitable. You know, he could very well be scared. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just makes him more relatable. Oh, wait, hang on a second. That's Chip's camera. So this, assuming that this was canon, this must take place before Spagonia Night in the main game. Yeah, because you know, like when everyone is like off their tits, in Spagonia Night, where like Amy is dancing with the professor assistant, and Chip has the camera and stuff. It's that camera that he has. So this must take place before Spagonia Night. The more you know. Oh shit, we've got the Wallace and Gromit moon. Everyone knows that the moon is made of cheese. Also, could we just hold on, we'll delve into this gold mine in a second. How many times have you guys actually seen the moon where it's like massive and bright yellow? It's quite satisfying when when you see that. My theory is it's during the beginning or something. Yeah, it's probably like within the first third of the game. Okay. Okay, that was a pretty cool contrast. Chat. Look at all of the light here. The light suddenly changes when the moonlight reaches Sonic. Incredible. Oh shit, it's the end. Also, I did notice the pupil dilation. Also, I've never really understood this phenomenon. Is there actually a reason why people look at the moon to start a werewolf transformation? I've never really understood that. Like, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, quite a lot of the time in fiction, someone has to look at the moon to start the transformation. I don't know if that's, like, mandatory, but it's something that happens in this game, and it's quite interesting. The transformation is peak. It must have taken place somewhere earlier on in the game. Well, yeah, because Chip gets his camera at the end of Night of the Werehog, and he has his camera by the events of Spagonia Night. So it must have taken place in, like, the first third of the game. Probably the light reflected from the moon activates their DNA. Maybe, but like surely it would just have to hit your body, right, to start the transformation, because like surely it would activate something within you, but anyway. Or maybe there's like something in the air that you breathe in and that starts the transformation. I don't know, but like it's incredible regardless. Right, and now the transformation. I remember this being amazing, and straight away you can see that his fur is already a darker colour. It's kind of a blink and you miss it, but man, the freaking detail. This guy this guy looks like the Steam sales are about to end. It's also pretty nice seeing like that's one thing that I really like about the Werehog transformation. The fact that like the quills at the very end are like a different colour. Kind of reminds me of Darkspine Sonic in a way, where it's like the actual quills like have different colours going down them. Rest in peace, the gloves. Well, until the sun comes up and then the gloves magically repair themselves. See, this is one thing I've never understood. This section, the shadow implies that Sonic is growing, but I don't think he does it? Also, I've never understood this section. Why did the freaking nails, like, shrink and then grow again? Like, the nails were non-existent, and now the nails are sharp. Never understood that part of the transformation. But again, what a badass shot. He gets taller. Oh, does he get taller? Well, in the games, he's short as fuck, so I just kind of assumed he was, like... I mean, I guess he looks taller? It's just kind of hard to, like, get a sense of scale within the room. But again, it's like, look at this man, the shot. And also the moon and the stars and everything. Just look, there is just nothing wrong about it. Also, can we just appreciate the ghosts as well? Like, they are just over the top animated, and I love it. They're amazing. Yeah, it's like, in this shot, like, Sonic... He looks a bit taller, but the fucking confused expression. It's like both of them... I love it. Like, both of them literally saw a ghost and they just don't care. That's amazing. I'm assuming the activation is located in the brain, which the light goes from eyes to brain. Maybe. That could happen. That could be why they need to look at the moon. But if that was the case, wouldn't that just make it so that the werewolf transformation is, like, really easy to avoid? Like, just don't look at the moon. Problem solved. I don't really know the science behind it. Because it's like, have you guys seen an American Werewolf in London? It's like, he wasn't looking at the moon, like, at all, and he still transforms. It's like, his second transformation, he's in, like, a freaking movie theater. And it's like, obviously he couldn't look at the moon because he was inside an enclosed space. I wonder how it works. Like, it could just be different for every adaptation, but, like, it's fascinating to think about, at least. See, again, it's like, I think this character is annoying as shit, but, like, everything about this room and her, like, movements is just really well made. It's like my prom photos. I'd be curious to know how a ghost is able to, like, actually, like, do, like, you know what I mean? I would have really preferred it if it just activates when the moon comes up. Yeah, that's how it works in an American Werewolf in London. It's like, as soon as the moon, like, is in the sky, it starts the transformation. Like, it doesn't really matter where you are. I think that's better, because it makes it more inevitable. Another moron has a crush on Sonic. Yeah, first Amy, then Shadow, now this person. I may have just upset half of you with that comment. Oh shit. Their powers combined, they become the Green Ranger. Again, like... I could... like, man... It looks so nice. Also, can we just Wait, hang on. Hey chat, the Werehog doesn't have a shadow. Unless I'm just being dumb. Like, the Werehog literally doesn't have a shadow. This is why he doesn't have a shadow in the main game. It's lore accurate. This man is a vampire. He has no shadow. He has no reflection. Also, it just looks so nice. It also just feels really weird watching the Werehog just do fuck all. You know what I mean? It's like... like, you don't really expect... Like, I kind of expect Sonic to occasionally have a lazy day, but, like, this man is just chilling. He is living his best life. He is like, I look like freaking Frankenstein's monster, but I am having a cup of tea. Or in other words, he's just a British person. The fucking vibrations in the drink, the Jurassic Park reference. Oh, and the drink flopping out. Bro, this is literally like some horror film stuff. And again, really good shot of the Werehog. It's such a shame that this guy doesn't look very good in the games, because like he looks amazing here. Also, cheeky Spider-Man move. Really good shot as well. Like, imagine if you could do that in the game. Like, just freaking... And then just yeet yourself. Ow, I just pulled a fucking muscle doing that. Ow. I went to the gym earlier, and I should not have done that. That hurt quite a lot. I was doing some boxing and some gym, and that hurt my arms. Fucking look of confusion. Like, again, the movements are so good. Yeet. It's also really interesting how they do communication without dialogue. Like, it's probably why this video has like 31 million views, because like, everywhere around the world you'd probably understand it, because of the no dialogue. It's kind of like Mr. Bean, where it's like there's very little dialogue, but you kind of just, it appeals to a wide array of people from like different languages. Like, again, just the sheer detail on him. Even like the creases on his fingers, like, everything was really well done here. This must have been a pain in the arse to animate. Like, again, just the freaking, like, body language to, like, communicate without dialogue. The fucking camera just trolls him. I love it. Uppercut. Did we ever get a reason as to why the Werehog has stretchy arms? He has stretchy arms because arms are stretchy, and stretchy arms are stretchy, and arms are arms. There you go. I love how this guy literally has the Werehog build, where he literally just skipped leg day. He's like the guy from Crash Bandicoot. I forget his name. He's got like really stubby legs, but like really buff upper body. Me when she leaves me unopened. The funny thing is that he was very close to actually landing a punch there. That moment when a random ass ghost unironically solos your favorite verse. I'm not too sure how they separate, yet they're still connected. Again, fantastic animation for the Werehog. Remember how perfect that guy's tentacles are able to stretch? I mean, I guess? Get jump scared, boy. Oh dear. Whee! Finish him! He took a freaking photo before it. That's amazing. That's an amazing shot as well. Just everything about this is... this is timeless. Like, this video will be incredible in, like, another 10 years' time. I like how it takes, like, goofy-ass photos of the ghosts, but then it creates, like, one really good photo of Sonic. Also, could we just appreciate the fact that she kidnaps Light Gaia? like, this ghost could have very well doomed the Earth with this plan. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna kidnap that. I'm just gonna kidnap Light Gaia. Also, it's pretty cool seeing the Werehog in, like, morning. Like, you don't really see the Werehog. Like, you only see it at the start of the game once. It's pretty cool seeing him in the morning light. Like, again, look at how nice this is. Also, for a split second there, it's really, like, watching the Werehog act like normal Sonic, it's so weird. Like, he's just there, just like... It's like, it's really interesting, like, seeing the Werehog not act like an asshole, you know what I mean? It's like, even though it's the same guy, it just feels weird seeing the Werehog just, like, do something like, imagine seeing the Werehog, like, eat a chili dog, or, like, do something that Sonic does. It just looks so out of place, but at the same time, it's pretty cool, too. And then he immediately just reverts to being an asshole. I love the fact that Sonic just doesn't suspect anything's different as well. Like, he's just so used to Chip acting like a freaking crack addict, he doesn't even care. Like, so, you can tell that Sonic is confused, but he's also just like, yeah, this is kind of normal at this point. Run like normal Sonic, I know, right? Like, seeing the Werehog do the super peel out, that would just be so cursed. To be fair, that's actually a pretty cool photo. Like, the detail and stuff is amazing. It's a little cursed, but... Again, just 10 minutes of perfection, genuinely. But anyways, though, guys, this is where I am going to be calling it a day for today. So I appreciate all of you being here, and I once again appreciate all of the amazing donations and just commute and support from you guys. It's really nice to see that even though I've changed my streaming schedule, you guys are very much supportive of it, and it feels nice. It's all the more funny, actually, when, like, people were talking about, like when I first got into YouTube streaming, people were like, yeah, you don't really want to stream on YouTube because, like, Twitch has more of a community. I couldn't disagree more. It's like, it feels as though we've built a really nice community on YouTube, and I want to appreciate, for a moment, just every single one of you guys. Man. It just feels really nice, especially since, you know, if we're just gonna have a moment, you know, between me and you guys, it's like, life is shit at times, especially, you know, for some people more than others. Usually I'm a very happy person, but I've had definitely some low points in my life, and whenever I'm having a bad day, it just feels great to see, you know, like you guys in the Discord, or like a positive comment on a video or something. And it really does mean a lot. So, yeah, with that being said, we are unfortunately going to call it a day because I am very tired. For some reason, I'm just not sleeping. Like, I don't really know what's wrong with me at the moment. But, yeah, with that being said though, guys, before you go, I am going to be working on the video that Carson fucking donated $50 for me to make, and that was a Mario vs. Sonic debunk. You guys seem to really like when I made the ones with Venom and Cinnamon, either earlier this year or sometime last year, I can't remember when it was. So yeah, we're going to be doing that at some point tomorrow, so with that being said, I hope you look forward to that, because Mario vs. Sonic is probably one of the more infamous matchups that people like watching me address. So, yeah, with that being said, I thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. We'll give you one more cameo from the Puffer. He's currently struggling to stay in this plane of existence, apparently. I think Puffer is being cyber corrupted. He's struggling a little bit. See, this is what happens when you 100% Sonic Unleashed whilst I'm streaming, you little shit. You adorable little fish. But yeah, that's why Puffer plays Sonic Unleashed, because it has many water levels, and he likes water levels, for obvious reasons. But yeah, with that being said, thank you very much for being here. We will be streaming same time tomorrow as well, and we should have a YouTube short and a video out tomorrow. So with that being said, adios. Fucking PewDiePie outro.